I will just say welcome. You are here for Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, the case of the Mummy's Curse. That's right. Where are you? On Intergames. What is the day? I don't know, but my name is Iris, and we're here to have a fabulous nostalgic time. This is a 90s CD-ROM mystery game that has been converted for our viewing pleasure, and I am going to pull us over to our full screen. And while I do that, make sure to like the stream. It's the cool thing to do. Everyone is doing it. And let me make sure I select the correct one. The Mummy's Curse. And here we go. Because it has a little intro. This ought to be good. This is gonna be good. Right? The fact that it's like so crispy and it's in a windowed mode and so modern feeling, and yet when I click play the game, you're gonna be so shocked. But first, I think we need to do Holmes' introduction, right? That feels fitting.
London is not a beautiful city. Under the soot that covers its buildings is a teeming mass of 4 million souls trying to survive, mostly off of each other. You see it in the paper every day. Thankfully, we have the London Times to keep us informed of all these troubling activities with an unbiased eye and razor-sharp accuracy. We find this publication to be of invaluable assistance in our investigations, and I'm sure you will as well. Among the forces of evil which run rampant in this city, there are also, thankfully, 2 groups of individuals who will aid us in our cause.
I need a notebook.
As we do, they attempt to right wrongs and restore harmony and civility to the streets of London. The first of these groups is a ragtag association of young ruffians. I call them the Baker Street Irregulars. Don't let them fool you. They may be scruffy and ill-bred, but they are on the right side of the law.
Us, scruffy and ill-bred.
See everything and overhear everyone. They are my eyes and ears in the streets of London, unquestionably a tremendous asset in our work. They will help us in our investigations if they can. The other group is a far more civilized collection of gentlemen and institutions. I call them the Baker Street Regulars. They, too, will be extremely useful in our work.
I can't find my notebook.
At the start of any investigation, do keep in mind that it is a capital mistake to theorize before one has data. Unwittingly, one begins to twist facts to suit theories instead of theories to suit facts. The people and places to whom I will now introduce you will help us to collect the facts. May we use them wisely. Come, the game's afoot.
The game's afoot. That's gonna be the title of the stream. Did we mess up? Did everybody mess up with the dress code? I didn't even think about it. I mean, I'm wearing a dress. I've got a dress on, but I wish I was wearing a like carpet bag kind of material coat, you know? And I wish I had a pipe. I wish a lot of things. So don't feel bad. None of us is distinguished enough to be here, but he said that there are some, what are we, scruffy ruffians? That's us. Okay, so if you're not wearing a jersey and shoes with 50 holes in them, you're fine. You know, if you want to go slap a tie on, you want to get up and go, I support you, but otherwise, I think we're good. So we can learn about the I should smoke a pipe. Yeah, probably. So are we enjoying? Also, not Hannah flaming me for saying this game feels very modern. All right. Yeah, Emily, don't say that. You're very distinguished. Very distinguished. And also, Sherlock's got like some, you know, he does some questionable things. So he should not be judging. So we have the introduction, our sleuthing tools. Here we go. We should learn about this. So he said that the London Times is accurate source, right? Oh, this is, I shouldn't be reading this. The newspaper should be your first stop when starting a case. The newsman is American. Simply choose one of the papers and look for relevant names and locations. Okay, I was rummaging in the desk, you probably heard, and I have found some paper so we can keep notes, because I do think this is like hard-hitting detective work. So if you see any clues, let me know. We'll add them to the clue board. We do need a murder board. That would be so nice. But anyway. You can scroll each column up and down. Oh gosh. It's like La Rabot. The directory contains names and places to help you in your sleuthing. When you hear or read about a curious name, select the appropriate tab to look it up. Once you select a name or location, select one of the 3 icons below. Send the detectives, send the irregulars, or search Holmes' files. See, this is why I think we're gonna fail. And by we, I mean us. I mean me. You. Me. You can send Holmes and Watson, send the Baker Street irregulars instead, or search Holmes' files. You can use your notebook in 2 ways. This is so complicated. Select the... Select the Clue History tab to review information of what you see and done. Video scenes. This is what we're here for, people. Sending the detectives to a location will play a video scene. So we're going to be sending them everywhere. Some scenes are pertinent to the case, while others may lead to dead ends. Oh, I gotta turn on the subtitles for y'all. Oh, I'm so excited about him. I'm so excited. Hi, Average Gamer. Thank you for the encouragement. Yeah, I don't think I solved this game on my own, but maybe it's possible. Oh dear. If you believe that you have enough information to solve the mystery, select the gavel icon to bring your case before the judge. And he is excellent. He will ask you specific questions to determine if you are indeed a master sleuth. So here's the problem. This is the issue. You can't just spam send Watson anywhere. Oh no, just kidding. I thought you spent points. But no, you gain points. So certain actions will cost you clue points. Your goal is to solve the mystery in as few points as possible. So who cares how many points? We're gonna have 1,000,000 points. You don't know who Columbo is, Hannah? Aw, he's a good detective. That's a cute show. Is it weird to call it cute? Maybe it's weird to call it cute. Sorry. Anyway, so we're gonna rack up the points. You will not incur additional points by sending the detectives or the irregulars to a duplicate name. The newspaper should be your first stop when starting a case. But it will just say that if we gain points, it's because we wanted to see all the scenes. So first, here we go. Tip 1. We need to look at the newspaper. That's not even something I should be writing down. Wait, we already learned this. Oh. I don't think... Do we need to do this? Maybe we do. Okay, he's gonna tell us a lot. First, let me turn on the subtitles. Okay, let's learn about Henry Ellis. Hi, Dingy. Dingy's interested in seeing a DVD board game ported to PC. As much as I can tell, that's what's occurred here. There's very little information about this game online. But it sure seems like it.
Mr. Henry Ellis is the foreign news editor for the London Times. He is a great reservoir of information of what's happening on the continent. He also has an interest in crime news.
Me.
Ellis is always happy to help when he can, but you must be careful of what you tell him, or you might find what you've confided to him in the next day's Times.
He's a leak. Interesting. Oh, that's right. Yeah, so Columbo, he's kind of like, he's a little rough, you know? He's just a cool dude. But yeah, I forgot that. If he's got you, he's talking to you, whatever. He doesn't bring it up, but then he just walks away and he has just one more thing. I forgot about that. That is a good show. I like that show. Okay, what about Mr. Disraeli O'Brien?
Head clerk Disraeli O'Brien is your contact in the Office of Records. The Office of Records contains legal records, both criminal and civil, as well as state papers. I think you'll find O'Brien to be a walking, or should I say sitting encyclopedia of the office's affairs.
Okay. Pike is sure to be something.
Now here is a person who usually gets in the last word. Langdale Pike is a human reference work on social scandal, especially on the London scene. He contributes bits of gossip to the garbage papers that cater to an inquisitive
The
public.
garbage papers. Oh dear.
Quentin Hogg is a crime reporter for the Police Gazette. He is
All
an
the same.
Police inspector who found the environment of Scotland Yard less than stimulating. He has a strong deductive mind and is a very good resource.
So you're telling me this guy is like a Tatler type media source. This guy is like a mainstream media source. And this guy is like a crime media source. So they're all just... Did we need all three of them? This guy's Office of Records. We need him. This is deeply confusing.
This gentleman is the head chemist at
Yeah,
Scotland
the
Yard
garbage
Criminology
papers was
Laboratory.
awesome.
It is rumored that Murray lives in the lab. He is eternally bent over one of his tables trying to extract the history of a crime from the physical evidence he's been given.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, The Princess Bride is one of the greatest movies ever created, Collie. So we're going to need you to get on that. That's crazy. Porky Shinwell.
Porky is not a pillar of society, I dare say.
Is he the
but he's a man
barkeep?
who has learned from his mistakes and is trying to start a new life. Although he is no longer in prison, he is still behind bars. Or shall I say, a bar.
Jolly good one, Holmes.
Yes, Watson. Well, the bar in question is the Raven and...
Jolly good.
Porky is the proprietor. He has been of great help to us in the past, and I expect he will continue to be in the future.
Oh, so he's a business owner. You're shaming him, and he's literally owns a business. He's the proprietor. I love a Holmes and a Watson moment. My favorite TV show of all times is Sherlock. It will never be topped for me. Ever. So Inspector Lestrade, this is our, you know.
Ah, Scotland Yard. If the Yard knew how to examine evidence with any skill, there would be no need for our services. Inspector Lestrade is the pick of a bad lot. But it is true they may be a source of valuable information. After all, the professional police have methods for gathering facts that are not open to us.
Okay. And then if you need to go and change for the stream, I'd like you to dress up as Edward Hall.
Edward Hall is a young barrister whom you will find on most days at the Old Bailey. He's a cut above
He's
the other
young?
imaginative members of his profession.
Holmes, don't you think you should explain to them the difference between a barrister and a solicitor?
Yes, of course, Watson. A solicitor handles the routine legal business of our society. If you do not have to go before a court, you will have no need for a barrister. If you must go before a court, then your solicitor would engage the services of a barrister.
Is one of you guys going to be able to keep track of that? We need to assign someone to that. My favorite is the BBC Sherlock. Yes, that's correct. With Benedict Cumberbatch. It's the greatest TV show of all time. It's the greatest TV show of all time. Okay, and finally, this dude.
Sir Jasper is the chief medical examiner for St. Bartholomew's Hospital. He is London's greatest forensic pathologist. You can depend on him for all the technical details that can be obtained from any corpse whose cause of death is in question.
Why? So we have 3 media contacts. We have 2 science men. We have a chemist and a forensic pathologist. And we've got a barrister and we've got a solicitor. So we've got 2 lawmen. This is ridiculous. This is so complicated. Hannah went to the Sherlock Holmes Museum in London. Where is it and how big is it? And is it at 221B Baker Street? I know it's not, but it was kind of disappointing. Sad. I feel like I'm gonna accidentally go to the wrong. So, should I be writing this down? So Murray is the chemist. So he's. Wait. So what is the difference?
This gentleman is the head chemist at Scotland Yard Criminology Laboratory.
At the yard.
It is rumored that Murray lives in the lab. He is eternally bent over one of his tables trying to extract the history of a crime. Sir Jasper is the chief medical examiner for St. Bartholomew's Hospital. He is London's greatest forensic pathologist. You can depend on him for all the technical details.
So it's the
that can be obtained
corpse.
from any corpse whose cause of death is in question.
So it's corpse science. And then Murray's all other science. So he's physical evidence. I feel like this is going to be relevant. Okay. And then O'Brien, I'm actually going to write some of this down because I feel like the game once you get in is pretty simple. So O'Brien is our records contact. And Pike is our trash papers contact. That's the papes. Let's see. Should we learn okay, so we have our records, but then we can also go to the library.
If I can't find something in my own files, I go and examine the overflowing shelves of the great London Library. It is a wealth of information.
Cool. Okay, what about Somerset House?
This is a records office housing documents pertaining to births, marriages, deaths, and last wills and testaments.
So does O'Brien work at Somerset House?
Head clerk Disraeli O'Brien is your contact in the Office of Records. The Office of Records contains legal records, both criminal and civil, as well as state papers. I think you'll find O'Brien to be a walking, or should I say sitting encyclopedia of the office's affairs.
Wow. Wow. That's beautiful. I stream at the start and end of Collie's work week. That is beautiful. Today, as our drink, we have a basil seed drink with lychee flavor. Lychee? Is that how you say that? And I'm going to give it a go because I forgot I had it. No, I don't like that. No. No. I think we should just do it. Within a lantern-lit sitting room at 221B Baker Street, Sherlock Holmes slowly takes a pull from his pipe while Dr. Watson, reclining after a bit of tea, peruses a discarded copy of the London Times. And the narrator is American.
What rubbish! What balderdash!
You must have read something terribly disturbing, Watson, for you to be so overwrought this early in the morning.
Indeed, Holmes. It's irresponsible of the Times to play upon people's superstitions.
Ah, you must be referring to the affair of the mummy's curse.
Has the entire city in an uproar. 3 men dead, and they expect us to believe that a 4,000-year-old mummy was the murderer. I'm surprised you haven't taken some interest in this case, Holmes.
To the contrary, my dear Watson. I have made some inquiries. Because I dare say I do believe this murderer is a much younger chap.
What if... Do I have to say resume?
What rubbish!
So this is it. This is the game. Silence. So they said we gotta start at the newspaper. Then you go to the directory. All we're gonna do is clues. Hit the pavement. Pound that pavement, baby. And then when we're ready, we're gonna go before the judge. So here we go. It's gonna be hard. If you notice something and I don't, tell me. So probably we should go to the earliest one. February 6th, 1888. Personal. Okay, so here's like some direct messages person to person. So maybe once we learn about other people, this will be helpful. And then can I like click on them? I cannot. Regretted not keeping appointment. Will you forgive me and arrange again? Anyone who can give information as to the family or relatives of Jacob Fitchett, who was last heard of as serving on the United States steamship Dakota, is requested to communicate. Okay. Well, what? Sporting. Live ostriches. A fair pair of adult American ostriches on view. Strange event. Okay, this seems relevant, right? A sudden gale on the Isle of Man blew off the roof of a stone church yesterday and would have crushed the pastor's house, but was blocked by a tree. Okay, that doesn't feel important. What does any of this mean? Drowned. On Wednesday evening, 4 men who were employed in lifting sand. Their boat was capsized. They were drowned. They were drowned. What? Letters. Sir, I beg to suggest the organization of a small force of plainclothes constables mounted on bicycles for the rapid and noiseless patrolling of streets and roads by night. Why does that matter? Queen Anne statue. I'm assuming we need to read Murder in Bloomsbury. A murder was committed in Bloomsbury last night. Shortly after 10 p.m., Constable Lane summoned... Wait, what? Shortly after 10 p.m., Constable Lane? Oh, is that a person? Also, I burned the crap out of my hand today, so we're trying to recover it. Constable Lane is a dude. Summoned by cries for help, entered the home at 42 Tottenham Court Road. Okay, these words are too complicated to even think about. These are all silly British people words. Of Mr. Oswald Mason. So then, am I going to have to like highlight this and then it pops up in my directory, or is it going to automatically go in my directory? So do I need to go meet him? They found the body in his study, where he'd apparently been murdered by a blow to the head. Mr. Mason's body was discovered by his wife. Oh wait, he's the one that died? Oh, it was his house, but he died. His body was discovered by his wife. Police report only that? Typo. The police report only that the intruder apparently entered by an upstairs window, and judging by the disarray of the study, a struggle occurred in which Mr. Mason met his death. As of this time, the crime has not been brought home to any person. But the best detectives of Scotland Yard are now involved. So, can we go to Mr. Mason's house? Oh, wait, here we go. Egyptian studies. This feels important. To the editors of the Times. Sir, I feel I must write to formally register my outrage at the irresponsible handling by your paper of my recent discovery. Your reporter's insinuation that I lack the credential to unearth such antiquities is an utter affront. An utter affront. This guy's great. For your information, I am a world-renowned authority in my field. Especially, is that what ESP means? Or, like, pointing it out? This is cool, like, learning about reading with you guys. Your reporter obviously has no appreciation for the significance of such a finding and has no understanding of archaeology. I demand a retraction post-haste. The Earl of Downey. No, he's just like a little posh. He's not British, really. He's faking it. He's also American. It's 4th of July week, guys. It's actually crazy. I used to do British accents in shows all the time, and weirdly, that's the one that's like gone from my brain. Do you guys notice that? I never do that on stream. Really. Like, I'll make somebody Irish. I'll make somebody Minnesotan. I'll make somebody pretty much everything. I feel like I can only probably do Mary Poppins still. But I don't have like a phrase where I can get back into it, you know? I need to put some work back in. Haven't been watching enough BBC to do one. So this guy, Earl of Downey, I'm going to write this down as a clue. So he is ticked that apparently the Times published something that they said he didn't have the credentials to unearth the antiquities, but he says he's world renowned in Egyptian studies. And this is the mystery about mummies. So we're going to go visit him. And probably nothing else matters. Let's stop reading the newspaper and do something. If I don't see a poorly acted scene, I'm going to die. The Earl of Downey. Do you think he would be under D for Downey? Downey, comma, Earl? Earl, comma, Downey? Diogenes Club. Wait, who is the Earl of Downey? What about the Archaeological Society? Eton College? So we can go, like, anywhere. Oh, crap. Okay, so this is gonna be like, wait, who's the dude who was murdered? Oh. Societies Club, Somerset House. So they just really, like, let you do anything. I feel like we heard about the Raven and the Rat. What was that? That was something. Could we get some music, do you think? The game will allow us to have a bit of music or no? Probably not. So, who is the Earl of Downey? Maybe that'll be given away elsewhere. Wow. Somebody was born in Inverness and we're learning about it in London. That's crazy. Who cares? Recent excavations in Egypt. But this was February, so he can't have complained about this. At the London Wait, we gotta write this name down. Hold on. Dr. Ebenezer, killer name. Ebenezer Scrooge. That is the greatest piece of literature the British ever created. Actually. And I have been in a musical version of A Christmas Carol no less than I feel like it's got to be 3 or 4 times. So I can sing in a British accent like nobody's business. So I know y'all are lying about music. Or at least we like faking it. No. The Muppet Christmas Carol is good, but like seeing it in person was killer. It was 10 out of 10. Everybody should have attended our rendition of A Christmas Carol. So, at the London University College on Wednesday afternoon, before an appreciative audience, Dr. Ebenezer Turnbull delivered a lecture which dealt with the history of excavations and the method by which they may. See, I'm so wanting them to make a typo. I'm reading it wrong. I just want them to make another typo so bad. The Muppets in-person show would have been amazing. Oh. The history of excavations and the method by which they may most profitably be conducted. Dr. Turnbull, so we've got him, and archaeologists James Windibank and Andrew Weatherby. James? What a name. Windibank. And Andrew Weatherby. Who did I play? Thank you for asking. Welcome, Opus. I played many characters. I was a caroler at one point, which sounds like not a lot, but we were the like people that came out and we did our little like in London town on Christmas Day. Wait, in London town on Christmas Eve, and then so you would always come out as a group, the carolers, and you would tell the story. And then I was the ghost of Christmas Past. I want to say for maybe 2 years. Maybe I just did a stint 1 year. And then I was also, like, when I was little, I was a kid, like, schoolgirl when, and there's, like, multiple different things you would play. And then I got to be in the parade. That was fun. It was killer. They have a Christmas Carol Goes Wrong. Oh, I would watch the heck out of that. So these two dudes are embarking on a new excavation at Catebit's tomb. What the heck is a Catebit? At the head of the Valley of the Kings near Karnak and Luxor. Oh, I've been to Luxor. That's in Las Vegas. Saturday's lecture was illustrated by photographs thrown on a screen by the electric light, which showed vividly and distinctly not only the work done at its various stages, but the modus operandi, the conditions under which work of this character must be carried on. What the heck are they talking about? The primary motive was certainly not to find and keep treasure, any more than it was the aim of the astronomer to possess a star. The modern archaeologist was as little to be confounded with the treasure seeker as the mineralogist was with the gold miner. Wow, that's beautiful. I have totally seen the play that goes wrong live, and it was excellent. It's also very good to watch. I highly recommend. I think that Peter Pan Goes Wrong is free on YouTube. And it's essentially like, what if a theater troupe did a show, but every single thing went wrong? Like, the set literally exploded while you were watching the show. It's so good. It's really good. Everyone should watch it. So I think we should go try to talk to Dr. Turnbull. And it'd be really funny if it didn't work. Turnbull. We're going in person. Ironically, the doctor isn't feeling well, so Holmes decides to pay a visit to the home of the late Ebenezer Turnbull. Wait, late? He died?
Dr. Turnbull, he was a strange one, he was. Hardly ever at home, always traipsing about her Lord knows where.
May I take a look at his things?
Oh, suit yourself. All he had is a big pile of books about Egyptian mummies and a few maps. He was a son of an earl, he was.
He was a son of an earl.
Poor fellow. Do you really think this mummy thing's what's done him in? Creepy, I says.
Creepy, I said. I don't know where she like kind of sound like she's from Derby. That was awesome. So wait. Did anything happen? Search the files. Search the files. Search them. Search them. Was that helpful at all? Did you like that scene, guys? Was that good? So 10 points. I don't think that means it was irrelevant. Oh, Turnbull was the Earl of Downey. So he was the guy... Learns what he already knew. Rude. That was exactly what I wanted to find out. Not 5 minutes ago, I said, who is the Earl of Downey? Well, there we go. It's Turnbull. And he was listed in the papers as being upset that they were like, you're not an expert. And he was like, I am an expert. So actually, Sherlock, I think that was super helpful. Fine. Maybe we'll go most recent to least recent. Fatal accident. That doesn't seem important. Home arrivals. Is this just literally saying who came? What? Someone tell me what the heck her accent was. I was so fascinated by it. Sorry, not Derby. Did I say Derby? She sounded like she was from Derry. Foreign arrivals. God forbid somebody show up from Quebec and everyone in the newspaper's got to know about it. John Watson. Sir, as a man of science and medicine, I must protest these innuendos of murderous mummies. The ancient Egyptians had progressed, but they had certainly not found the secret of everlasting life in the material world. Even had they, we cannot bring home the murder of 2 men to a 4,000-year-old mummy. I can only repeat that this is utter nonsense and balderdash, without the slightest scientific basis, and a disgrace to the pages of your venerable newspaper. I am, sir, your obedient servant, A. Ham. I thought John Watson... Is John Watson with a... Gosh, Hamilton really been on the mind. Listen. I need y'all's help. We got a bunch of British people here, which is going to make this even more enjoyable. But on Thursday, I am on a mission to find the most obnoxiously, weirdly American game to play. Like, I'm talking, I want it to be like murder at the fireworks stand, you know? Like, we need it to be obnoxious. You know, red, white, and death. There's gotta be some really chintzy game like that we can play. So if someone wants to get working on that, I'm accepting applications. So here we go. So if I had read the most recent paper, I would know that James Windibank killed, murdered. So, and then it says the project, okay. The 3rd murder to be associated. I don't know that one, Scott. Andrew Weatherby also dies. Okay, so all the people that we noted, this is good. All the people I noted, dead. Andrew, dead. James Windibank, dead. And then Turnbull, dead. So all 3, boom. And the mummy's name is Kate. So Kate Middleton has killed all of them. The shipboard investigation was handled by Captain Herman Ramsey. And his first officer, Luther Tenney. I saw Tenney in the... Like, ideally, Miss Clue has an American Revolution game. Or, like, American Girl Felicity. If I can get my hands on that. Oh, yeah. So how about we try to talk to Captain Herman Ramsey and Luther Tenney. Y'all ever watch the Felicity movie? The Felicity American Girl movie? It's a horse girl movie. Let's go talk. Because we need another scene. We need one. Ramsey Herman. He's a captain. Put some respect on his name.
We had just come through a rather grueling storm.
I love his
so
ship.
I sent my first officer, Luther Tenney, down into the hold to check on the condition of the cargo.
His vibe.
He reported back post-haste that Mr. Weatherby was lying dead among the Egyptian artifacts we were transporting. I turned over the helm to Tenney and went below to have a look for myself.
And did what you said
That's
confirm
him!
Teddy's report?
Unfortunately, yes.
Dead.
Weatherby was lying next to that coffin, or whatever it's called, apparently strangled.
Strangled.
I went back to the bridge and put Tenney in charge of the investigation.
And what did he uncover?
Well, you'll have to ask him for the specifics, because I can scarcely recall the details.
That guy was cool. Did you like his vibe? He was awesome looking. Okay, so now we get to go talk to Luther Tenney. And look, I bet if we go, we're not even going to get that many points. It was relevant. Relevant. Luther Tenney. Oh, we're going to get a carriage scene. Yes.
Let me tell you.
No, we
A
don't.
murder
He also has boats.
given by a 4,000-year-old mummy was only one odd thing in a string of bad luck.
A
on this
murder.
Lot of bad luck.
It all started with the crew, really. Seamen are a rather superstitious lot to begin with, and the idea carrying about a 4,000-year-old mummy had them shivering in their timbers. We almost faced a bloody mutiny. And there were the passengers. A strange
Is
lot.
everyone American?
I can tell you that reporter fellow, Travis, did us no service at all with his mystic mumbo-jumbo. He and Professor Winterbank had a regular war of words going on about whatever powers this mummy was supposed to have.
Reporter
And there was the
Travis?
two Arabs.
Arabs. Interesting. Do you
Who
recall?
are they?
I should hope I do. One was called Farmy. He always carried around this curious little box. No clue what was in it, but Farmy never let it out of his sight.
Is he Turkish?
The other one's name was Al Sard, and he spent most of his time lurking about watching Farmy. My guess is he wanted that box.
Sounds like you had your hands full.
I haven't even told you about the fight yet between Mr. Weatherby and Mr. Urubaru.
Over what?
Weatherby's wife, I'd say, though they were a tight-lipped lot about it.
I see. Tell me, Lieutenant, we understand that you were the first person to discover the body.
Yes, sir, I was. Captain Ramsey sent me down to inspect the hold. And I went immediately over to them Egyptian crates. Professor Winterbank was particularly anxious about him, you know.
Could you
Is that what
describe
he's trying
the
to be,
scene as you
Australian?
remember it?
I'll never forget it. I just made my way to the back of the hold, and I noticed at the top of them crates, the one what carried the mummy's coffin was raised up kind of funny like.
Funny like.
Coffin lid was laid off to one side.
Love that
There
image.
was Mr. Weatherby all sprawled on the floor next to a bowl of ashes. He'd been strangled by a length of the mummy's sheeting.
Oh.
Bloody gruesome, I tell you. Poor bloke's eyes popped out like a couple of sausages on a hot iron skillet.
Quite a vivid picture, don't you agree, Holmes?
Quite. And you reported this to Captain Ramsey straight away.
Absolutely. In fact, the captain put me in charge of the entire investigation.
And what did you discover? Did anybody have any contact with Weatherby on the night of the murder?
Not that I know of. I could account for all the crew. And the passengers were in their cabins as far as anyone knew or would say. Nobody saw anything, heard anything, or knew anything. Besides,
snitches.
Weatherby was seasick from the beginning. He stayed pretty much in his cabin all the time. Maybe that's why the lovely young Mrs. Weatherby was gallivanting about.
With Urubaru?
Yes, indeed.
And
Arubaru.
what of the bowl? Where is it now?
Bow.
With ashes. That's in the notes.
Oh, yes. You know, now that you mention it, I don't recall ever seeing it again.
Okay, so because I know we have 3 murders here, I'm taking notes by murder. So that was super helpful. And basically, Weatherby is killed. He's the last murder, but we're going backwards. He's killed, but not before he has a verbal altercation with a reporter named Travis, which, if you're named Travis, you had it coming. And then he also got in a physical fight with Mr. Arubaru because presumably him and his wife were cheating. So obviously we gotta talk to that guy. Look, there's Bilbo. Vegetarian restaurant. Oh, his name is Tony. All right, Tony.
If this is an inconvenient time, perhaps
I love his
come
house.
back, Mr. Urubaru.
I wouldn't hear of it. Just a bit of a hangover. I've weathered plenty worse than this.
He's hungover.
I'm investigating the death of Andrew Weatherby. You were on the ship with him out of Cairo. Did you happen to make his acquaintance?
Weatherby, a most tedious fellow.
He's
So
American.
tedious, one might want to do him in.
Don't be preposterous. In my condition, I couldn't have done anything of the sort.
What condition was that?
And I thought you were a great detective. The first night out, a few of us threw a bit of a bash that went on until we docked in London.
Did Mrs. Weatherby attend this particular bash?
She was the guest of honor, you might say.
No. Okay. Yes, the box, that's a great point, Robert. I think the box is going to be a thing. I'm assuming the murders are connected. I'm in shock right now. So basically, they throw a rager on the boat, which is probably why nobody's talking. I can't even say what I'm thinking, but maybe some things happened at the party that oughtn't to have. And okay, can we talk to his widow? Yeah, we can. We're talking to her. Key witness, you found a key clue. I just got a Steam notification. Look at us.
I'm very sorry to intrude on you in your moment of grief.
Oh, that's quite all right. You know, Andrew and I hadn't been married very long.
Nobody is British. That's awesome.
Enemies?
Oh, Andrew was so unassuming. Everyone liked him.
Including Mr. Uruburu?
Unless
I
I'm
really
just
loved
can't
my
hear them.
husband.
I'm sure you did. Oh, English toffee. My favorite.
Would you like one?
Please.
It's the box, Robert.
Sorry, you'll have to open this yourself. I've never been any good with these things.
Hi, Rhea. Am I crazy, or are none of them British, except for Sherlock? Am I just not hearing accents, or are they just all not trying? Which I'm totally here for, because obviously I can't do it anymore. Oh, hi, Tuna. Yeah, like, they're kind of like, they'll try for like 1 or 2 words, and then they just give up. And honestly, respect. Yeah, we need to look into that tree that fell on the Isle of Man. Tuna, you want to come say hi? Tuna's here, everybody. So that was a key witness. So the fact that she can't open a box seems to be important. You want to say hi to everybody? That does look like the box, though. Tuna, do you know what happened with the mystery? Oh, okay. That was a quick one. You gone? Yeah, you're gone. Okay, bye-bye. So, what was her name? Clarissa? Suspicious. Hi. She's got something to say, y'all. What would you like to say? Oh my goodness, that's so many things. Yeah. I don't know if anybody can hear you. Yes. Yeah, so maybe wait, are you so are you saying that they're just killing the accent so much that it's so natural, or are you saying that my brain is assimilating because apparently British is a superior dialect? It's a great point, Hannah, about dust. I don't know if you guys could hear Tuna, but she was really trying to tell you something. So Clarissa can't open boxes. Gonna keep that jotted down. And then so Arubaru, he's the guy that he fought with over infidelity charges. And then he also got in a verbal fight with somebody named Travis. But do you Travis Phillip.
So you've been reading my articles in the Times. I'm honored. What do you think of them?
Quite interesting. You've clearly been following the murders quite closely. Who do you suspect?
I believe it is the work of the ancient Egyptian god Pumatef and his goddess Neith.
Be serious.
Travis has got his head on
be more
straight.
Serious. You see, Mr. Holmes, although I am a journalist, I was actually trained as an Egyptologist. I know all about these mysteries. That's why my articles carry the force of truth.
And what is the truth, Mr. Travis?
The truth is that the Egyptians discovered the secret of life. What we call science is mere child's play compared to the knowledge they had.
Look at this. Do you know what this is?
It appears to be a mummified animal of some sort. A monkey, perhaps?
Precisely.
A monkey?
Conversation piece.
I've been using it in some very important experiments which, if successful, will unlock the secret for bringing back the souls of the dead. I've been working on it, Mr. Holmes, using these tanner leaves. Watch.
Wait, did he said he was going to bring the soul back from the dead? I stopped listening for a minute.
Uma lotus. Licantina. Burura.
It appears that the soul of this particular monkey has no intention of making a reappearance.
It's only a matter of time. I know it is. After all, these secrets have been buried for thousands of years. These things don't happen overnight. But it will happen someday. This is my mission.
I believe I'll leave you to your work, Mr. Travis.
Don't go yet. Let me show you more.
Thank you. Some other time, perhaps.
I'm obsessed with Travis. If he didn't do it, I'm going to be ticked. So, Travis is a little intense about what he believes. I didn't get murder vibes, though. I don't know. Did y'all get murder vibes? Probably. Let's look back in the newspaper. So, to the editor, sir, the recent mummy affair points up to a fact I've been trying to convince my fellow Britons of for quite some time. That is the phenomenal number of crimes, particularly those of a serious nature, committed by foreigners. Okay. Very common sentiment. The body of James Windibank, we knew that. That's Watson. Can we talk to Watson? Recent discovery. That's different. Oh, we got to talk to the guy in the fez. I feel like there needs to be like George Washington Simulator. Oh, Sherlock is absolutely, well, if Sherlock's on opium, well, I guess opium makes you kind of like tired, right? But modern Sherlock, what was he addicted to? Because he could probably take somebody out in a fight. So this is what we were acting on. So let's go to this paper, March 5th. Oh my gosh. Wait, so John Watson got married. Look at this. On Friday, the 1st of March, Mary Morstan and John Watson are married. Beautiful. Some of these just seem not important. Sir, as my late husband was a well-known and respected journalist, I now turn to you in hope that some action might be taken in the case of his terrible death. Persano. Perhaps I should refresh your memory and that of your readers with the facts of this bizarre death. The police records are bare indeed and report little more than Isidore Persano was found stark staring mad with a matchbox in front of him. Isidora is a guy? With a matchbox in front of him with contained... With contained? A typo? A remarkable worm, unknown to science. He survived only a few days in that state of madness before succumbing to a mercifully quick death. What? That does not seem relevant. That one's getting written down, Hannah. What if... Oh, here we go. So here's the second death. The archaeologist dead in Mummy's tomb. Professor Ebenezer Turnbull, which we learned he was the Duke of Downey. Which maybe that's something. Maybe somebody like wanted his landed title. He was found dead in the tomb. So whoever has killed him has access to... That seems important. So, E. Turnbull. Let's have another section here. Duke of Downey or Earl of Downey? Earl. Not as cool. So he's killed in the tomb. And the other guy is killed on the ship back, I'm pretty sure. So whoever killed him has to have access to the expedition. And that's a fact. So killed in tomb. So anyone that's on the Kate Bit-Tomb expedition, which we know that Travis was on the boat. Presumably Travis is also probably there. The inner chamber was reached early in the year after much difficult labor. He'd worked late into the night, remaining in the chamber alone. His body was discovered by Mr. Weatherby, also who dies. He dies third. Mr. Turnbull had been strangled. Just like our third guy. Ancient linen bandages were found around his neck. Upon hearing of the professor's death, several of the natives working on the excavation called upon Isis and Osiris for protection and for forgiveness for disturbing the sacred tomb. Inscriptions found on the canopic jars and doors indicate that this death may be the mysterious work of the ancient god Tumatef and his goddess. So that seems pretty straightforward. There's also somebody killed by lightning, could be related. Someone murdered during a performance. Stabbed to death. Some jewels are stolen. That doesn't seem related. Disaster at sea. So I feel like it's a pretty tight-knit group. Here we go. Recent excavations. So Turnbull dead. James dead. Is anybody else? No, we already read that. Darn. Charges of murder. Everybody's getting murdered, yo. Accident on the docks. Recent disturbances in Whitechapel. Does any of this seem related? I think we need to talk to, what they call them, Arabs? It looked like one of the guy was Turkish and one of the guy was maybe from like Syria or something. Because I feel like they mentioned Syria at one point. But maybe I'm wrong. We can ask them. So, Fahmy. I don't know if it's his first or last name. Akram. I need a scene. A mist seems to rise from the Thames as the men cross a bridge on their way to meet with Akram Fahmy, a handler of historical relics. There's a rat and a dog and a man in a tricorn hat.
Hello? Is anyone there?
No!
Home?
Dead!
Exactly so, Watson. Look.
Oh, what ghastly business.
Dead!
Everyone will assume the mummy has struck again.
Hardly a plausible assumption. This poor fellow has a knife in his back and not a scrap of sheeting about his neck.
How very observant, Holmes.
Ring up Scotland Yard. This case is simple enough for them to solve.
You've solved it already.
Elementary, my dear Watson. Obviously, it was the butler.
Butler? What butler?
Exactly my point. A man as wealthy as Akram Fahmy would always have a manservant about him. After the foul deed, this one obviously beat a hasty retreat.
So is that unrelated? What? What just happened? Okay, we'll try the other guy. Al-Sud? Al-Saud Abdullah? Is he gonna be dead too?
Well, Holmes, I checked in with Mr. Al-Sad's manservant and...
And you discovered that Mr. Al-Sad was not at home.
But however did you know that?
Elementary, my dear Watson. I noticed some crumpet crumbs from the corner bakery stuck to your lapel. You haven't been gone long enough to stop for tea and interview anyone at length.
Most observant, sir.
Wow. So, I guess that we just don't care. So those two are out. Was anybody else there? The only guy that I can even pin this on so far is Travis. Because I haven't met anybody else. How about we talk to the regulars then? Like, let's talk to Lestrade. Although talking with Lestrade is often tedious and the inspector is condescending, Holmes and Watson visit Scotland Yard.
Well, well. If it isn't Mr. Sherlock Holmes, London's most overly praised amateur sleuth, needing the help of the Yard again.
Are you going to stand for that, Holmes?
Let's just see who proceeds to solve this case, Watson. Inspector Lestrade, my good man, I'm looking into the cause of James Windibank's death.
I should have known. That murder has brought out every crank in the city. I think the professional police can wrap this one up.
All the same, could you tell us what you've discovered to date?
One dead archaeologist, no suspect, no motive.
And
Perfect.
what of Andrew Weatherby's death? Have you looked into that?
I have talked to Captain Ramsey, but we have no leads. Look, I'm not even sure that Weatherby's murder falls into our jurisdiction. And if it doesn't, you're not going to find me worrying about it. As it is, I have enough murders to take care of.
What just happened? He didn't know anything. Yeah, everyone's dead, so that's really like cutting down on our suspect pool. So they said who do we want to talk to? We can talk to the chemist who does physical evidence. I think that would be helpful. We could talk about the guy that does corpses. We could talk to the records dude. I don't know if that matters. And we could talk to the guy who's at the trash paper. I want to talk to the guy at the trash paper. Personally. The Societies Club is not a venue that we frequent, let alone belong to.
I know only a very little about two of the unfortunate gentlemen. I do recall that Turnbull was quite an eccentric chap. I don't believe he ever married, nor did he take his rightful place in London society.
And what of Windibank?
A quiet,
He's doing an
academic
accent.
sort, as far as I can tell. Married to a woman called Hildegard. There was one spot of controversy that I can recall. It seems a few years back he had a run-in with the Anti-Vivisectionist League.
No, but of course.
It seems that during a lecture on the advancement of science, he spoke of the autopsy of his own pet, a recently deceased Yorkshire Terrier. Well, I can tell you the Times received a great deal of letters to the editor condemning him on that one.
He's at
Even
least
one
giving
from
it a try.
Fenwick, who threatened to vivisect him.
Oh, dear. Well, then I surmise it's Weatherby you know nothing about.
Well, now that you mention it, I believe he was assisting Professor Windibank in that lecture series.
So wait, who's the Hildegard lady? That was great. Who was the widow of the journalist? That I feel like we saw that in the paper, but I didn't know. I don't think I have a name. Do we see a Hildegard? The indigent? Blind Society. Well, I want to talk to them. Isadora. There's another Isadora. Not seeing a Hildegard. We are going to keep looking now. So I missed them. I guess, yeah, can we... well, it seems like if they're married, they list the wife. So we could go visit the wife if she's there. Oh, Hilda. Maybe that's Hildegard? Dude, I am confused. Let's just keep talking to the regulars. This feels helpful. You found a key clue.
It's quite amusing, all this hoopla over a mummy's curse, I must say. Not so amusing, of course, the murder of 3 Englishmen.
Have any
Good
of your
save, Henry.
reporters uncovered anything new?
Actually, I've been in Paris the past several weeks. Just returned to London on Tuesday. I've had no involvement with the writing of any of these articles. I believe they are all the work of Philip Travis. He's
It's
one of
all
our
pointing
young
back to
reporters.
Travis.
For a short time, he was the Egyptian correspondent.
Was he sacked?
No. He returned to London just a few days ago. I gather he was reassigned to cover the case from here because he had some familiarity with a murder in Egypt.
Do you know Travis?
No, never actually met the chap, although I hear he's a bit of an odd duck.
Thanks for your help, Henry.
Anytime. Let me know when you catch the mummy. That's one scoop I'd like to get.
So, wait a second. So Henry, hold on. This is going to be a La Rabot. This is going to be a La Rabot moment. So, if you recall, something I instantly spotted in La Rabot is that there was a switcheroo. Maybe Travis is not real Travis. Maybe somebody left, killed Travis, became Travis, and came back as Travis. Because Henry, and they said that was a key clue, which is a little bit of a... I don't know if I like that Steam told me that, but... So Henry never met Travis. I don't know, guys. It's really starting to look bad for T-Dog. What about Edward Hall? Who's the... Wait, let's talk to the corpse dude, right? Jasper? And maybe we'll find that widow, too.
Beg your pardon, but could I have a word with you, Sir Jasper?
Dr. Watson, of course.
You're this close to him, you're already
interested in
talking.
The death of Samuel Sneed. I just finished with him.
No, we're interested in James Windibank.
Ah, the mummy's latest victim, of course. Who hired Holmes for this one? King Tut?
Oh, that's a jolly good one. Actually, we don't have a client on this one.
Just for fun, eh? Well, about the only thing I can tell you is that mummy has very powerful hands.
Not a woman.
The trachea was crushed along with one of the vertebrae of the neck. Death was instantaneous. Snap.
But the paper's reports say that there were mummy wrappings found round the neck.
Just window dressing. Without question, it was bare hands. The bruises and the way that the vertebrae was crushed leave no doubt about that.
Thank you very much for your time, Sir Jasper. We're very much appreciative.
Not at all, Watson. You will let me know when you've convicted the mummy.
Beg your pardon?
Well, so I can perform an autopsy on him. Would be most fascinating, don't you think?
Okay, did he say Windibank? I think it was Windibank who he was just talking about. Because I'm assuming that clue is going to be for all of them. So, right? So, somebody's strong. Did Travis look strong? Not particularly, but that's okay. Let's talk to the barkeep, because that's going to be a good time. Oh. Before stepping inside, the consulting detective is nearly flattened by an intoxicated patron. Very nice.
There was a couple of blokes in here just a fortnight ago what mentioned
I love
the
him.
Eastern Empress. Never seen him before. Haven't seen him
Have
since.
you seen him before?
One was a swarthy fellow, Arab unless I miss my guess. The other was an old English gent. I overheard him say something about a bird and later caught the name of the ship. I hope that helps you. Care for a drink, yeah?
So presumably the man that died was with an English gentleman, and there was a bird, and that was the name of the ship. Let me play that one again.
There was a couple of blokes in here just a fortnight ago. What
2 weeks
mentioned
ago.
the Eastern Empress. Never seen him before. Haven't
Oh,
seen
Eastern
him
Empress.
since. One was a swarthy fellow, Arab unless I miss my guess. The other was an old English gent. I overheard him say something about a bird and later caught the name of the ship. I hope that helps you.
So
Care for a drink, yeah?
I think the name of the ship is the Eastern Empress. There is an old English guy, which I believe is probably Dr. Turnbull, and the swarthy Arab gentleman, who's probably Fahmy, who's been killed. And they talked about a bird. Talked about a bird. Yeah, the Eastern Empress is the ship on which the third guy is killed. Presumably that's the ship that's taking them from Egypt back. Let's see. Oh, you're right. Maybe it was a lady, like an old bird. It's a good point. But still, of the three people, I think only Dr. Turnbull would be considered old. I don't know very much about Windibank yet. I know that Weatherby is the third guy, and he's not old. He's got a young wife. I think we're doing pretty well, though. So something was going down. Maybe they were all in cahoots to do something they oughtn't to. Have I looked at all the papers? Oh, and this is a good point. 2 weeks ago. So is this today? Is today April 12th? Does it say? So if today is April 12th, then 2 weeks ago. So I gotta determine a time of death for everybody. March 4, Turnbull dies. So actually, if it was 2 weeks ago and I have a copy of an April 12th paper, then it can't have been Turnbull. Right? Windibank dies. Oh, dies April 11. The body of James Windibank was discovered late yesterday in the room he was preparing for the British Museum's exhibit of newly discovered artifacts. I don't think I read this. Windibank is the third murderer to be associated in the past 6 weeks. He accompanied the London University-sponsored expedition to Egypt. Its organizer, Dr. Turnbull, was murdered in the actual tomb itself in early March. Another archaeologist, Andrew Weatherby, met a similar fate on the board the ship returning to Egypt just last week. The Jardine ship Eastern Empress was the scene of that mysterious death. The shipboard investigation was handled by Captain Herman Ramsey. Okay, that's what we were missing. So do we not have a report then on the guy that died? Was there not a newspaper article then about the guy on the boat? Because it says just last week. So prior to April 12th. So death 1, Turnbull. He dies first. He's the organizer of the trip. I feel like I might have missed some things in these newspapers because I'm scrolling through them kind of quick. J.A. Merton says that we shouldn't disturb the spirits. Oh, they didn't list him in the deaths. Interesting. I guess that makes sense. So it's somebody that was on this this expedition. And what should we talk to the university? Because it was a university sponsored trip, so maybe they're in like a PR disaster right now. I don't know what Jardine means, a Jardine ship. So we could talk to the British Museum, and we should also talk to London University. I don't think that anything's going to come of it, but we can try. Oh, this is good.
Such a tragedy. Fine men all, and such outstanding scholars. I still can't quite get over the shock of it.
We understand.
Professor, we're looking for background information on these three men so that we can understand how their murders might tie together.
Well, let me begin with Dr. Turnbull. Ebenezer Turnbull was responsible for organizing the Carteret expedition. Quite a remarkable man, really. This was the first time he teamed up with James Windibank. Professor Windibank was one of our most popular lecturers. In fact, several of his former students were also eager to accompany him. I recall him saying that he was having difficulty choosing. Weatherby turned out to be the lucky one. Though it seems far from it now, doesn't it? I suppose Smith and Travis turned out to be the lucky ones after all.
Smith and Travis?
Peter Smith accepted the invitation to join another expedition. As for Philip Travis, he was quite keen on accompanying Professor Windibank. In fact, he became exceedingly upset when Andrew Weatherby, a postgraduate student in the department, was chosen instead. Took it rather personally, I should say.
Oh, our guy Travis is cooked. Hey, Soren Sparkles. It's nice to see you again. So Smith... Oh, I'm gonna have to listen to it again, guys. I'm sorry. I gotta get it all down.
Fine men all, and such outstanding scholars.
So there's 3 students. Travis is one of the students. Weatherby is dead. Smith didn't go.
We're looking for background information on these three
It's
men so that
Travis!
we can understand how their murders might tie together.
Well, let me begin with Dr. Turnbull. Ebenezer Turnbull was responsible for organizing the Carteret expedition. Quite a remarkable man, really. This was the first time he teamed up with James Windibank. Professor Windibank was one of our most popular lecturers. In fact, several of his former students were also eager to accompany him. I recall him
former
saying that he was having
students.
difficulty choosing. Weatherby turned out to be the lucky one. Though it seems far from it now, doesn't it?
Okay, so he was
I
chosen.
suppose Smith and Travis turned out to be the lucky ones after all.
Smith and Travis?
Peter Smith accepted the invitation to join another expedition. As for Philip Travis, he was quite keen on accompanying Professor Windibank. In fact...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Robert. Okay, we're talking to Peter if we can. I don't think he's going to matter, but we're going to do it anyway.
Sorry I can't help you, Ducky, but Mr. Smith has been out of the country since the middle of March. He's a good-looking bloke, except for the dirt under his fingernails.
Well, it was worth it just to see her. So Smith is out. I mean, they've given us nothing but Travis on a silver platter, right? I mean, but I wanna uncover as much as I can before we go. If we just go before the judge and just like slay, I want to make sure I talk to everybody. The records department. Who's Murray? I don't remember. Who's Hogg? Talk to him. Oh, the Police Gazette.
Now, the thing what does strike me as odd is the passenger list of the Eastern Empress. Now, I'm not saying it has anything to do with the mummy murder.
Tell me about it.
But it was a bit out of the ordinary.
What was Hogg?
Akram Palmy, for starters. He's a well-known importer, he is.
Oh, okay.
For a price,
Importer.
A considerable price by all accounts. He can acquire whatever one's heart desires, be it
He's dead.
jewels, art objects, or even wild animals, if that's what you fancy. I'd say he was on board that ship to transport something very valuable.
The presence of one high-powered importer on a London-bound vessel is hardly reason for suspicion.
Right.
I love the way he's sitting in his
But
chair.
Abdullah al-Saud was also on board.
Oh, yes. The well-known agent for the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire.
You never miss a trick, do you, Holmes? Well, Whatever it was what Fahmy was carrying, I'd say it was something those Turks wanted to get their hands on.
Wait, I thought Turks were the ones that wore the fez. Now I'm confused. Anyway. So one of the guys works for the Ottoman Empire, Slay. The other guy, clearly they found something in the tomb that is valuable. And who's the guy that lived? The dude that... Arubaru. Who the heck is Arubaru? Why was he on the boat? Maybe if I look in my files. Nothing on file. Why was he there? Throwing a rager. Who else was on the ship? Oh, it was a Jardine ship. We should talk to them. Oh, import discovery!
Here is a passenger list you requested, sir.
Louise Fenwick. Oh, that was the lady that got mad at him about vivisecting a cat. Or a dog. Wait, Louise Fenwick is on there. Hold on. Hold on. Fenwick. Most of the others I knew about. So we've got Abdullah, Akram, Luis, Philip, Travis, Arubaru, Weatherby, and Windibank. That's the only one we didn't know about. Okay, so Louise Fenwick. We gotta talk to her. We gotta ask her why she doesn't want us to cut open dogs. Meryl and Louise.
I'm sorry, but I don't know anything about the death of old... whatever his name was.
I love his wig.
Fact is, I only saw the gentleman once, just as we were boarding. And I'll tell you, I resented the first officers questioning us on the matter, and I resent yours.
Resent!
It was a disaster from beginning to end. Our accommodations were positively abysmal. They wouldn't
They're
even
giving
let
it
us bring
everything.
Dickie into our cabin.
Dickie?
Oh, Dickie.
Her high-strung, distasteful little mutt.
How can you say that, Meryl? You know Dickie is a blue-blooded Yorkshire Terrier.
I'm obsessed with them.
With you in just a moment, Dickiekins. He's a bit under the weather, you know. That's why we were only able to stay in Egypt for 2 weeks. Dickie was so disappointed. He so wanted to see the Sphinx.
Mr. Holmes is not interested in your incessant whining, Louise.
Oh, now I whine, do I? There was a time you thought I had a lovely speaking voice. It's true, Mr. Holmes. He once adored me.
No doubt.
This is the best one.
God, Louise, spare us your blubbering.
That was the greatest scene so far. I don't think it was relevant at all, but it was worth it just to see his wig. And also the fact that both of them were giving 5,000% compared to everyone else. Okay, lots of people wore fezzes. That's good to know. Oh, yeah. Okay. Interesting. So that was the best thing I've ever seen. I don't know that it was relevant. So they only stayed in Egypt for 2 weeks. I don't think that matters, though. Let's see what Sherlock thinks. The couple was on board but seemed to know little of the murder. Oh, they wrote down the passenger list for me. Did they have Meryl listed? I feel like it was just Louise. So pretty much it had to have been one of them. And it wasn't those two. And Fahmy is dead. They're not letting me see Abdullah. So it's Travis. It's Travis. It's Travis. If it's not Travis, this whole thing has just been a massive red herring. He was just upset that he didn't get picked by his favorite ex-professor, blah, 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 whatever. Do I go before the judge or do we keep digging? Is there anybody that we haven't talked to? I don't know if I ever found the widow that Robert was referring to, unfortunately. take a peep. They literally just won't even let us talk to Abdullah, and I want to figure out what's going on with that box. Can we talk to the Ottoman Empire? Could we, like, call them up? No? We haven't done all the regulars yet. Let's see. We'll just go down the line.
Sorry, fellows. I don't mean to be brusque, but I am too occupied at the moment to concern myself with these so-called mummy murders. Perhaps if the mummy's solicitor were to contact me, then perhaps I would consider defending him.
Defending him. I love him. We already talked to Hogg. We did not talk to the London Library.
Here it is, Holmes. Egyptian mummies are embalmed bodies preserved to facilitate their resurrection. Many mummies have been found, and they are almost always the bodies of pharaohs. The pharaohs believed that one day their bodies would be brought back to life. See History of Egyptian Mummies by Pettigrew, London, 1834.
Very good, Watson.
Pettigrew? I mean, can I talk to Mr. Pettigrew? Literally, why not?
They had absolutely no information pertaining to this case.
I thought not, Watson. It appears that we've wasted our time.
I'm not exactly sure what happened to you, Collie, but I hope that you make it through. That doesn't sound great. That's the screen they give me if, like, anything happens. It's just totally not relevant. And I also kind of want to send the irregulars and see what happens there. Like this lady that somebody got murdered. Let me send the irregulars. The maid said she was out covering some scoop for the Times. Okay, so they just give me like a written report. I gotta figure out what this box situation was. That's the box I've not gotten to the bottom of. Like, is there something about importing or... Someone got stabbed to death? I mean, I guess that maybe that mimics... And jewels. That didn't seem super valuable. I mean, I can't go to their houses, can I? Maybe I haven't done all the regulars. Wait, nope, 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 nope. What am I doing? Oh my gosh, there we go, directory. Have I talked to Murray?
Pettigrew wrote this book over 50 years ago, and there's still nothing better on the subject. Fascinating. Just fascinating.
Finally, a
And
Scott.
what can I do for you today, Whitson?
It's Watson, sir.
Watson, yes, of course.
We're interested in what you may have learned about this mummy case.
Oh, so these days it's mummies you're chasing down with that fella Holmes.
It's Holmes, sir.
This is what I said now, isn't it, Whitson?
Yes, I believe you did, sir.
Let me show you what I found so far. This is the bit of linen that was found round the neck of James Windibank. I examined it thoroughly, and it is quite old, perhaps thousands of years. However, it is not the murder weapon.
We knew that.
Certain of that.
Aye. The linen is quite old, but it's not at all strong enough to strangle a grown man.
Very interesting, sir.
I also found something quite fascinating. Take a look through this glass. Do you see those short hairs on the fabric?
They look precisely like hairs.
Of course they look like hairs. But what kind of hairs?
He's convincing me. I love it.
Dog hairs. Now, look at this. This piece of linen was found round the neck of the victim on board the ship. Well, his name was Leatherby or something. It is also quite old, and on it I found more hairs.
More dog hairs?
No, my dear man, monkey hairs. I've not yet
Monkey hairs!
But it's just extraordinary, isn't it?
Quite. But what do you think it all means?
Well, I'm not the sort who likes to jump to conclusions, Whitson. But I can assure you that neither of these bandages were the murder weapons.
Stop messing with that. Oh, it was Detective O'Reilly and Laura Ball. Oh, he was the murderer, and he was so Irish and fun. That was cute. We need a little Irishman, but that I'm pretty sure he was cast as a Scot, right? I mean, I'm gonna defer because we have Brits in the comments, but like, I feel like he was convincing me. He was at least Nancy Drew levels of appropriate, you know? Do you find these cutscenes scary, Soaring Sparkles? I do appreciate that it does seem like they really were not concerned with quality. He was a Scot in my heart. I was waiting, you know? I feel like we need like a really aggressive Irish person, like in Laura Bow. I mean, he was sing-songy as all, you know, get out. I loved it. So anyway, so the monkey wrappings seems a little suspicious for our man Travis. Anyway, I don't think we're gonna need records, but we can go.
Well, Holmes, it appears we're out of luck. The clerk told me that O'Brien is off on holiday.
Pike. We already talked to Pike, we talked to Porky, and we don't need records. I think we're done. I'm ready to go to the judge. Okay? Oh, it says I found all the key clues required to solve the mystery. You guys are not seeing the Steam notifications. Holmes and Watson leave 221B Baker Street and hurry to the Queen's Court to present their case before the magistrate. Armed with information about the mummy murders, the detectives cut a swath through the London fog and head to the Queen's Court. Believing they have solved the case of 3 dead Englishmen, Holmes and Watson hail a carriage and are... Okay, we keep saying the Queen's Court, the Queen's Court, the Queen's Court. What is the Queen's Court?
Hear ye, hear ye. The Queen's
I'm
Court
here.
now stands in order.
Yes, it does. Play it again.
Hear ye, hear ye. The Queen's Court now stands in order.
That needs to be played at the start of every single one of our streams. Who knows how to do that? I do, actually. I could do it pretty easily.
Mr. Holmes,
Who
I understand
murdered
you've
him?
been looking into the mummy murders.
Yes, my lord.
Tell me then, who was Ebenezer Turnbull's murderer? And
Why?
what
Oh,
makes you
crap.
so certain?
Why did he kill him?
Travis' motive for killing Turnbull.
Oh, I don't know this one. Oh, I do know that he questioned the doctor's credentials. He was the one in the press that did that.
And what of Andrew Weatherby?
It was also Travis. And then Weatherby was the guy.
Travis killed Turnbull and Weatherby?
Yes, I believe.
Well,
it
they
is, my lord.
Yeah, he wasn't
What was his motive
chosen for the
killing
expedition.
Weatherby, Mr. Holmes?
And then Travis kills Windibank.
This Travis seems to be quite a busy fellow.
Oh,
What made him kill James Windibank?
because he didn't pick him for the expedition.
Well, you've done an admirable job in resolving this mystery. I'd say you're on a par with just about any other armchair detective out there. I would suggest, however, that you rethink this case again, thereby improving your sleuthing skills.
Well, I could just come to you again and tell you what I know. Guys, I just freaking solved the case. I thought that I wasn't going to be able to do it. We have more that we can play. We can do another one. That was W's in the chat. W's. How many? That was amazing.
My
Okay.
word, dear Holmes. Perhaps we are in the wrong business altogether. If we had been top-notch, we should have cracked this case in less points. I think I'll ring up the university immediately and see if we might enroll in a detective course.
Okay, literally, if we had not seen that scene with the not the Windibanks, whoever the heck that couple was, then the game would not have been complete. There's no point in playing the game if you can't see all the silly little... Should we watch his solution? But I don't care about my score.
Well, Watson, I believe this case is solved. And for your information, it was not the mummy.
Come, Holmes. I never thought for a moment it was the mummy.
Of course not, Watson. However, the murderer and the mummy did have one thing in common.
What's that?
They both were the only ones present at the time of the murders, except, of course, the victims.
You state the obvious, Holmes.
Ah, but it is seeing the obvious that is important.
What about the box?
First, I saw no reason to assume that we were dealing with more than one murderer. Secondly, the locations of the murders limited the number of suspects.
What did I say?
Them. The first murder was in Egypt.
They had to be on the
In
expedition.
London. You call the entire populations of London and Egypt a limited number of suspects?
No, Watson. We had to find someone who was in Egypt for the first murder, on the ship for the second, and in London for the third.
Oh, but of course.
According to the newspapers, the Eastern Empress was in Bombay at the time of Ebenezer Turnbull's murder, so that eliminated the ship's crew as suspects. Thus, I needed the list of passengers who boarded the ship at Cairo. It was our visit to Jardine, Mason and Company that provided our first critical clue.
I did that
I learned
last.
that Philip Travis was a passenger. I then learned that Travis was the chap who reported on the first murder. He became one suspect, but I had no motive. Clarissa Weatherby, who was also at the scene of the murder in Cairo, was another possible suspect, since she appears to have had a bit of a dalliance with Mr. Uruburu there on the high seas.
Who wouldn't?
So I had found her motive for the murder of Weatherby, but not a motive for the murder of the others.
Then whom did you eliminate?
Mrs. Weatherby. Her hands were not strong enough even to open a jar of English toffee, let alone strangle a grown man.
And what of Travis's motive?
Maybe she was
It
throwing
seems
you
that
off.
Travis was a student in the Egyptology department at London University and had studied under James Windibank. He wanted very badly to be chosen as a member of the expedition, but Windibank turned him down. Instead, Weatherby was chosen and Travis was furious. So there you have the motive for two of the murders.
And what of his motive for the murder of Turnbull?
Evidently, Travis had written a vicious article questioning Dr. Turnbull's credentials to lead the expedition. Turnbull's response was quite harsh, probably powerful enough to drive an odd duck like Travis to murder.
Very impressive, Holmes.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
You heard it here first. If you're into ancient Egypt, a murderer, an odd duck, and a murder suspect. Just like trains. You like trains? Murder suspect. If you know, you know. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this off. That's right. Gone. She's gone. And then we're going to go for, that's right, Sherlock Holmes, consulting detective, the taste of the tin soldier. And then we're going to make sure she pops on up here. Oh, there it is. Come on. Aha! Our same boys. At it again. Oh, thanks, Nevaeh. All right, so it's all the same. This should be from the same set, like the same game set, so nothing should change. The taste of the tin soldier. Yes. Reading and attempting to open game is hard. So, should we do a little intro or is it the same thing?
London is...
That's the same thing. I love that we can skip. Oh, that's great. Is everybody ready? Is everybody okay? Are we good with doing another one? Doesn't matter. Play. Inspector Smythe is greeted at the door of 221B Baker Street by Holmes's housekeeper, Mrs. Hudson. The consulting detective and the good doctor bid him enter. After foregoing a cup of tea, the inspector sits heavily in a sitting chair and looks to the men with anticipation.
May we be of some assistance, Inspector Smythe? General Farnsworth Armstead, one of the 6 surviving Waterloo Tontine ticket holders, has been murdered.
Waterloo
What?
Tontine? The Waterloo Tontine was a lottery of sorts, Watson. It was set up in 1815 to aid the veterans of the Battle of Waterloo. Wellington's victory over Napoleon.
Yes, of course, I knew that.
I haven't written anything down.
Plan on the part of the founders. £1 bought a ticket in the name of some young relative. The ticket proceeds amounted to over £1 million. Half went immediately to veterans and their families for medical and hardship expenses.
What became of the other half?
It all went into an account at the Bank of England, where it's been collecting interest all these years.
Very clever. And how does one win this prize?
Simply by outliving all the other ticket holders.
And now you say one of them has been murdered. Very suspicious. Who are the remaining 5?
The oldest is Captain Robert Jurgens, age 82. Then there are Anita and Claire Thomas, who are 80-year-old twins. William Rowland is 79, and Peter Dudley is 77. Poor General Armstead was the youngest at 74.
Seems as if he would have had the best chance to outlive the others.
I recall reading something in the Times about a big to-do involving the Tontine survivors on the 18th.
That's correct. The Waterloo anniversary banquet at the Langham Hotel.
Why is the name Armstead familiar?
He was a noted art collector, I believe. He also authored a well-known book, Treasures of the Conquerors.
Quite right. At the time of his death, General Armstead was working on a revised edition for his publisher, Nugget and Company. It was to contain an entirely new chapter on a fabulous diamond called the Polar Star, which at one point belonged to Joseph Bonaparte, Napoleon's brother. The general had new information which traced the gem to its present owner.
Tell me about the circumstances of General Armstead's death.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, let me see. At 10 o'clock this morning, the general's valet, David Sennett, admitted a caller to the general's study. Sennett says he did not know the man. He was elderly and spoke with a French accent. Sennett told him the general never saw anyone in the morning while he was at work. The gentleman insisted that if Armstead read the letter he had with him, he would make an exception. And so it was. Sennett took the letter in, Armstead read it, and went quite pale. He told Sennett to let the gentleman in. Sensing something amiss, Sennett dawdled in the area of the study for the next 15 minutes or so. Then he heard the distinct sound of swordplay. He tried to enter the study, but found the door locked. Then he heard the crash of breaking glass. He raced to the kitchen and out the back door to enter the study from the garden. By the time he got there, the caller had vanished, and the general was leaning heavily against a shattered display case of military miniatures. Before Sennett could assist him, he dropped a saber from his hand and fell over dead.
And I take it the letter, which so upset the general, was nowhere to be found.
Correct, Mr. Holmes.
Well, we shall put our brains and our feet to the task.
Okay, did you guys catch all of that? So, basically, General Armstead was killed this morning at 10 a.m. His valet admitted a Frenchman provisionally based on a letter that was given to the man of the house who allowed him to come in after going pale. They engage in a duel via sword. Then, boom, they shatter a case full of miniature little toy soldiers. Tin soldiers, perhaps? Perhaps. The man dead. Well, why is General Armstead important? He is one of 6, now 5, survivors of the Veterans Lottery. He was presumably at Waterloo, which is why all this Napoleon stuff is coming up. And the last person to live gets the money in the account. So there are 5. which I didn't get all of them. So anyway, the people who have the money come in obviously have motive. But to really throw, a wrench in it, General Armistead was going to publish a revision of his prior book, I believe, on the polar star diamond, because he had more information, and probably the current owner, or if something was sus with the provenance or something, would be upset about that being published. So that's also motive. Did you get all that? It's like, we probably got all of that. So anyway, so Robert Juergens, Anita and Clara Thomas. Oh, so they don't have to be veterans to have entered the lottery, right? I was a little confused about how that worked. I know half of it went to support the veterans. William Rowland. Peter Dudley. I'll tell you what, though. We give all these Americans crap for their British accents. You know who's got a bad American accent? Benedict Cumberbatch. That's right. I said it. It is not convincing. It's bad. I said what I said. Lastly, they learned he was working on a revision to a book, and here are the circumstances. Cool. All right. I don't need any of this. Yeah, maybe I do, actually. 4 newspapers. We're going to go most recent to... I don't think least recent is the way you describe it. Furthest away in the timeline. London, June 10. Wellington's birthplace. The Duke of Wellington. Latest intelligence. Accident to a mail steamer. Fatal accident. That's the same thing that happened. Received a concussion of the brain. They're filling it with fluff. Strange event, the Isle of Man. They're copy pasting. They're copy pasting. Lannister Moors. What is this? None of this seems helpful, right? They want to send the poor people out of London. What does this have to do with anything? Here we go. 75th Waterloo Ball and Anniversary. The Times is pleased to announce a dinner, all caps, on the occasion of the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Waterloo. Wednesday, June 18th, so forthcoming, at the Langham Hotel. They said it was a motel in the... I probably just misheard them. It's a hotel. Surviving participants in the Waterloo Tontine. That's what they kept saying. Waterloo Tontine will be guests of honor. Further information is available at the Langham Hotel or at the Times office. Oh, look, you can go to Burlesque Training College. Stage is a profession. Ladies and gentlemen adopting the stage should apply for a prospectus of the Dramatic and Burlesque Training College. Do you guys want to go to the Dramatic and Burlesque Training College with me? All right, so we should go to the hotel. I thought it was... Did I write down the hotel's name incorrectly? The Langham Hotel. Or at the Times office. Well, I guess we could just go to the Times. Or do I have to go to that dude's place? Why can't I go to the Langham Hotel? Who's the dude at the Times? Henry? Yeah. We'll talk to him.
Ellis, my good man, what can you tell us about the Tontine story?
Time does take its toll, doesn't it? Back in 1865, the Times sponsored a 50th anniversary banquet. I'm quite sure I wasn't out of my pram, but I understand there were 204 survivors at the time. Now there are only 6. Pardon me, 5. Now that the poor general has been skewered.
I thought they were the ticket holders. Excuse me. Well, they don't want to let me go to the hotel. So let's just go talk to all the other survivors then. Jurgens. There he is.
Captain, did you know General Armstead?
Armpit, you say?
Armstead.
Oh, Armstead. I knew that bloke. A jolly good fellow. Sat next to me at the last shindig back in '65. The 50th anniversary and all of that rot. We had a grand old time swapping lies about our adventures on foreign shores. He swore by French damsels, but I argued for the China ladies. I hope they catch the deck-rat who killed him and hang him proper.
Have you seen the general since the 1865 banquet?
I've never seen the general with a blanket.
No, since the banquet.
Oh. No.
May I ask, what are your plans for the tontine money should you win it?
Spend as much of it as I can while I'm still alive and kicking. Leave the rest of it to the Seamen's Fund when I'm dead. Or some people think I should leave it to my only kin, me nephew, Booth Lacey. I never would, mind you. He's a bit of a laggard, has never done an honest day's work in his life. Should I outlast the others and be found the next day with my skull bashed in, look to Booth. He's sure to be holding the club in his hand.
Okay, so we got a lot there. He's old and deaf. He has a nephew who's a good-for-nothing, named like Lacey or something. And if he got the money, he'd spend a whole bunch of it and they'd give it to the seamen. And I don't think he's guilty. Also, he said General Armistead liked French women, which could potentially, I don't know, there could be something in that. So I bet they wrote down the guy's name, what his nephew's name. Booth Lacey. Absolutely, yeah, we gotta talk to that guy. Because he might be a little good for nothing. Or maybe his uncle's just being rude. He's a scoundrel.
What did you discover, Watson? He wasn't in, Holmes, though his landlady suggested we might try the Red Bull Inn. The woman practically talked my ear off, went on and on about how Lacey constantly plays up to his uncle, Captain Jurgens, who's one of those old gents with a ticket in the tontine. I thought she'd never hush up.
The Red Bull Inn. Wow.
I was wondering if you'd seen a Mr. Booth Lacey around here today.
Nope. Must be my lucky day.
Well, then, if it's your lucky day, why not spread some good cheer in the form of a pint and some food to that unfortunate chap standing outside your door? Poor bloke is missing an arm and a leg.
That poor bloke's your one and only Booth Lacey. Well, the whole thing's an act. He's as normal as you and me. Spends half his time begging out front and the other half swindling folks down at London Bridge Station.
So Lacey fakes being, what was he, paraplegic? Is he actually faking? Cool, so he fakes being disabled. Alright, so this guy's got motive. Like, maybe if he could, like, alter his uncle's will or something. Gosh, just a real piece of work. Alright. If true, haven't actually got to talk to him, though. How about June 4th? Disturbance at the Russian Social Club. Lord Astley Denham. I'm trying to make sure this isn't in line with any of the names I have written down. Oh, here we go. Here's the dinner. Still being announced. This doesn't seem as valuable as the last one. Oh. Sir, paying my daily visit to my church, St. Mary's, this afternoon, I was surprised to find the caretaker in a semi-stupefied state. Asking her what the matter was, she told me that a man missing an arm and a leg had just entered the church, and finding her all alone, inquired whether I was in the vestry. On receiving a reply in the negative, he said, "I see you are alone," and immediately took out a pocket handkerchief and dashed it in her face. The strong smell of whatever liquid it had been steeped in dazed and stupefied her, and she for a moment or two lost her consciousness. The noise of some of the workmen on the roof seemed to have alarmed the scoundrel, and he bolted out of the church. So he is missing an arm and a leg. He's just using it for nefarious purposes. Das Hagen. Can we talk to Das Hagen? Would he be under D? Das Hagen is not his last name. Hagen is his last name. No! That we can't talk to Das Hagen? Oh, that's upsetting. Or St. Mary's Church, maybe? Yeah. Let's go.
I was wondering, Father, if you happen to know a man by the name of Booth Lacey.
I should say that I do. I see him every morning.
At Vespers?
Wish that it were. No, at our soup kitchen. We can pray for the unfortunates of this world, certainly, but we can also offer them a little sustenance of a more nourishing kind. Every morning at 9:30, our doors are thrown open to those less privileged than ourselves. And every morning, without fail, Booth Lacey is here.
You're certain of that?
I am. You see, with only one arm, he needs someone to carry his bowl to the table. Invariably, I am that someone.
I love his act. He's real. That guy's got to be real, right? So he goes to the soup kitchen every morning, but maybe he was also the guy that, like, it seems like he's like kind of like in a tough spot right now. Like, he's got some real struggles. For sure, he's got some real struggles. But he's also holding up ladies in the church, I'm pretty sure. But this is a great reason why he maybe didn't do the murder, because he doesn't have an arm or a leg. And in that drawing, he also didn't have an eye. And, so Booth Lacey is not doing great. But I don't think he's the killer. I shouldn't laugh. I should not laugh. How about Anita and Clara Thomas? Claire.
Would you care for some tea?
Thank you, no.
I love
really
them.
Quite good. We were just going to have some ourselves.
I really won't be staying long.
We get visitors so seldom.
Did you know the General?
We suppose he was at the last anniversary banquet. But we don't believe we ever met him. We were so sorry to hear of his death. It is such a pity.
Well, so I imagine you ladies have thought about what you'd do if you won the Tontine money.
We have no living relatives, so there's no one to share it with should we win. We need very little to get by on. Undoubtedly, we would leave it to the Ladies' League for the Preservation of Finches.
I'm obsessed with them. So they have no relatives. They're obviously deeply happy, so they don't need the money. And they will give it to the Ladies' League for the Preservation of Finches.
I can't believe we came all this way when there are more important things to pursue.
Indeed, Holmes. I don't know what got into us.
All stones left unturned, gentlemen. No. No stone left unturned. William Rowland. There he is.
Been laid up for 2 weeks now with this blasted gout. Such a nuisance. Have to be carted about by my valet.
Perhaps you should try avoiding those rich foods.
Yeah, awfully sensible. But I always say might as well eat what you want now, because who knows what they'll be serving upstairs.
Oh, quite so.
Mr. Rowland,
did you know General Armstead?
Not personally. I knew of him, of course. Our little group has become quite small. Terrible about his death. Me, I hope to die at the dinner table.
Provided that doesn't happen any time in the near future. Tell me, if you won the Tontine, what would you do with all that money?
There's a question to titillate the imagination. I've played around with that one every day for the past.
He's gonna go to the hairdresser.
And? I'm still working on it.
I understand that you have 2 sons in America and a daughter in London.
That's right. My sons own a very lucrative import company, and my daughter's married to a fine lad, Wentworth Cobbett. Though he is a bit of a starving poet.
Poor. Okay, so I've got gout, glutton, laying down. Wentworth Cobbett. The hair was awesome. Awesome. Yeah, all stones left unturned was kind of crazy. Cobbett, not cupboard. I'm going to call him cupboard.
I'm terribly sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Holmes. I was finishing up my work.
What sort of work?
Wentworth is a poet. He works every day at his art from 10 until 1 in the afternoon. Never misses a day.
Never?
If the world were to end at noon, Wentworth would not know about it until 1.
Now, what can I do for you, Mr. Holmes?
I love his
Did you
vibe.
know General Armstead?
Yes, I believe he is one of the Tontine ticket holders, is he not?
Yes, he was. He was murdered this morning.
How ghastly.
This morning?
Depending on your point of view. It does put your father-in-law that much closer to winning.
What a demonic thought, wouldn't you say? To rejoice in the untimely death of another for one's own gain. Ask not for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee.
Okay, so he's appalled morally. And he's quoting poetry at us. Gout, glutton, laying down. That's almost as good as, what was the other guy? The first guy was, Jurgen's old deaf cousin. Or no, old deaf nephew Lacey. Those are the 3 notes. He does, yeah, he does. Is that the guy from Harry Potter? He looks like somebody, for sure he does. And then the final ticket holder is Peter Dudley. Oh, I'm laughing so hard right now.
Now, what can I be doing for you, Governor?
I'm working with
Poor.
Sherlock Holmes. We're looking into the unfortunate death of General Farnsworth Armstead.
Oh, of course. I've just come off a job I had. My apologies for not looking me usual spit-polished self.
Oh, don't bother. I hardly noticed.
Make yourself at home. I wish the missus were here to offer up some tea.
That's quite all right. I won't keep you long.
Heard about the general. Didn't know him, of course. Had no cause to wish him harm, Tontine or no. But I've got to look at it philosophical-like. I'm the youngest now, so I've got the best chance of lasting the longest.
So Dudley is poor and maybe homeless. I don't want any of these people to be the culprit. I'm just having to reduce people to 3 things. You know, I would never do this in real life. We got to do it for the crime. Man found dead. See, this was the same thing from last time, so I know it's not good. Anarchist found dead in room. Trade notices John Bull. I don't think he's the culprit. He does have motive. He does have motive. Panic at the theater. Electric wires supplying the chandeliers came in contact in consequence of the wearing away of the envelope. Who? New sheep. Gloucester Cathedral. Strange event, a rather large den of poisonous and uncommon snakes. Okay. Is anything helpful in here? Oh, new books and new editions? Because he was going to publish his... Yeah, here we go. Norgate and Company announced. So that's his publisher. So we should go try to talk to him. Them. To be published this summer, new edition enlarged and revised. Treasures of the Conquerors by General Farnsworth Armstead, with several entirely new chapters, including one featuring the fabulous diamond, the Polar Star. So let's go talk to them. Gosh, this is not like the last one. Norgate and Co. There it is.
General Armstead's book has been a very controversial subject from the start.
I understand the original publication caused quite a stir among the public.
Oh, yes, indeed. Well, you know, of course, that many of the treasures listed in the book had, in fact, been stolen by their present owners.
I literally told you, it's the owner of the diamond.
That revelation caused quite a sensation, and we were delighted. The more libel suits that were pressed against us, the more the book sold.
May I ask why the General chose to revise an already successful book?
There was one piece of critical information missing from the first edition. It was the whereabouts of a fabulous diamond called the Polar Star.
Seems to be a very popular gem.
Indeed. So you can imagine his excitement when last March he received a letter from a Frenchman by the name of Pierre Martin, who claimed to know where the diamond was. He had even provided a detailed description of how the gem was stolen from its last known owner, a Russian fella, a Count Rostov. He said the thief was an Englishman.
Might you know his name?
Martin wouldn't tell unless we paid. As I understand, he was in town a day or so ago and had tried to set up a meeting with the General. Unfortunately, I don't believe they had a chance to meet.
The Frenchman. Well, that's good. Yeah, you two seem to really enjoy edamame beans, Scully. I mean, I like them, but I don't really seek them out so much. That man served in the Civil War with his mustache. So, okay. So, I told you guys that jewel was freaking stolen. And the Frenchman is Pierre Martin. Martin.
I can't believe we came all this way when there are more...
Fine. Nothing. And then what was the Russian guy you said? Rostov? We could go to the Russian social club and hope that they know the one Russian guy we need.
Well, he certainly was a chatty fellow, but I got the distinct feeling that he had no idea why I came to this location.
It's okay. We're, all stones left unturned, right? Should we just talk to all the regulars?
Hall's assistant says he's in court and will be there all day. Pity.
I don't know who these people are. I don't remember their names. About Hogg. He's the police guy.
General Armstead. Believe I know that name in connection with the Polar Star diamond. Believe it was once owned by the Russian Count Rostov, some rich old duffer. Towards the end of '87, somebody pinched it.
Do you happen to know who?
Nobody knows for certain, mind you, but the word on the street was the thief was a Frenchie by the name of Andre Martin. Had quite a reputation as a jewel thief, he did, though his reputation was based mostly on rumor. Just before the Polar Star was lifted, he had been seen in St. Petersburg. A few months later, his body was found floating in the Thames.
Drowned?
No. He had been strangled. The crime was never solved, and the diamond was never found.
Okay, so easy. So that guy named Martin was a different name. It wasn't Pierre. So that was his brother. He kills his brother to take the Polar Star. Easy. I don't know if there's like Easter eggs in this. I feel like some of the things have been cutesy at least. So yeah, because he didn't say it was Pierre Martin, right? Maybe I have to listen to it again. But, or no, it probably made it in the notes. Yeah, Andre Martin. So, I'm just assuming this rumor is real. Yeah, it's Travis again. The rumor is real, so we're just gonna say that the Polar Star is stolen from Count Rostov, or whatever his title was, because he's not accessible, so we're assuming he's out of the game. So the Polar Star is stolen by Andre Martin. Then his brother kills him for the gem. His brother being Pierre Martin. Then Pierre Martin writes to... Maybe Pierre has it stolen from him by an Englishman, and then to get back at him, he throws a guy into the bus. Oh yeah, strangled. Doesn't look too doesn't look too bad for our guy with one arm and one leg. I think he's in the clear. So that's good. I gotta keep working on the regulars. Let's talk to Lestrade.
Do you people have nothing better to do with your time than to interfere in police matters? Well, don't bother with this one. We have the matter under control. I've compiled a list of suspects, which you may not see. I intend to ask each one for an alibi, and the suspect unable to supply one is our killer. Quite scientific,
amazing.
Really. Now,
I love that, babe. He's gonna ask everybody for an alibi, and whoever can't answer, jail. Immediate jail. Let's go to the library. It's probably just gonna be a random book. What happened? There's nothing at the library. You can't see it. Well, that was weird.
Can you tell us what did him in, Sir Jasper?
A sword through the heart, a smart upward thrust.
Smart. So, like, it could be a lady, because she's so short. Or somebody sitting down. But it was a sword. That's good to know. So, like, probably, maybe they're trying to make me think, okay, Napoleonic War era. Sabers are probably still in play a bit. So maybe a military man, you know, would have a sword. I think that's probably what they're trying to lead me towards. I don't know.
I'm here regarding the Armstead case. I take it this is the saber he had in his hand at the time of his death?
Aye, indeed it is. A lovely thing to behold, isn't it? Unfortunately, it yielded very little evidence.
Well, now he sounds Irish.
Traces of dust all along it, indicating it had been unused for quite some time. I did notice on the point a tiny amount of fresh blood. The general must have scratched his opponent. I'm sorry, Whitson. That's all the information to be gathered from this beautiful masterpiece. En garde!
That's Watson, sir. Watson.
Wait a second. Was that saber? Whose saber was that?
I'm here regarding the Armstead case. I take it this is the saber he had in his hand at the time of his death?
Aye, indeed it is.
Okay, so that was Armstead's saber. So there's a dot of blood. So if somebody's got a cut, because they got a cut, they're guilty. I don't think this is gonna matter.
Sorry to disappoint you on this one, Holmes. I can't uncover a bit of incriminating information on a single one of the remaining tontine ticket holders. All of those who led eventful lives are dead as a result. It appears the survivors have outlasted the others because they have led such quiet lives.
Good to know. But I want to know the hot goss.
The good general married into a considerable fortune when he took Lord Finch's spinster daughter, Mary, off his hands. Mary's brother, the present Lord Finch, was opposed to the marriage from the very beginning, and there was still considerable friction between him and the general. But through holdings which the general inherited from Mary, he and his former brother-in-law were in business together. Ah, the ironies of life, eh?
The ironies of life.
Opposed to the marriage. Well, I'm not sure, but it had something to do with the general's reputation with the ladies. Of course, this was before my time. Now, I'm not certain he can be of any help to you, but you might want to check with my illustrious predecessor, Mr. Lloyd Shoemaker.
I'll make a note of that.
You know, of course, the general wrote a book about art collectors and included some less than chivalrous details about how a few of them had come by their collections. One man, Carson Cabot, a gem collector, was quite incensed by being so named. In fact, he accosted Armstead and fractured the general's collarbone.
I understand that the general was going to include a chapter on the Polar Star Diamond in his revised book. Would you happen to know if Cabot had anything to do with that particular gem?
Well, I can't be certain, but being the collector he is, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't already have it in his possession.
That was very helpful. That was deeply helpful. Let's take a breath here. So, Shoemaker. Was that his name? Yeah, let's talk to this guy. This is the predecessor.
Langdale Pike told us you might be able to help us.
And how is Langdale these days? Has he lost his job? Or perhaps you're here to tell me that he's succumbing to some rare disease.
Oh, heavens, no. You'll be happy to know he's in the very pink of health.
Oh, I'm sure you have no idea how that makes me feel.
The reason we're here is to ask about General Farnsworth Armstead and the circumstances of his marriage to Mary Fitch. Have you any recollections that might help us?
Ah, Miss Mary Fitch. As I remember it, Lord Fitch was in a dither to marry off his daughter. Auction off might be more appropriate, actually.
And Armstead was the highest bidder?
Suffice it to say that despite a reputation as a randy dandy, Armstead's career prospects were bright, and that seemed to be enough of a recommendation for Lord Fitch.
What a randy dandy.
The brother was very much against the match and did everything he could to break it up. Soon after the engagement was announced, Armstead went on a tour of duty in France, where he had an affair with a young French girl.
Told you, French woman.
She became pregnant with his child.
I knew it!
Scandalous.
I freaking knew it. What did I say? General Armstead liked French women. That made the cut. He has a bastard French son. Those are the 3 words. You're good, Soaring Sparkles. That's the best bit. There's so much to just hang out and watch all the videos. You don't have to be active if you do not want to. Okay, so let's talk to the brother. Malcolm. Oh, we can go to the embassies.
I admit I strongly disliked Armstead. He was a cad who made my sister's life miserable. I argued at length with my father against the marriage, but to no avail.
But what was your sister's opinion at the time?
Well, unfortunately, Mary was not the attractive sort who had scores of suitors. My father was afraid she'd be left a spinster.
She's
engagement was
cute.
arranged just before Armstead went to France. During the year he was gone, I had him watched and discovered he was in the thick of some scandal involving a young French girl.
She's
and
beautiful.
You told your father? Well, he wouldn't listen. I even went so far as to give the story to the newspapers. But my father got wind of it and used his influence to prevent its publication. I would have done anything to keep my sister away from that man.
Including murder?
Why, that's preposterous. Well, surely you don't think...
Mary's been dead, right?
I was scheduled to meet with Armstead today. But you see, my wife took ill. I spent the whole morning attending to her here until Dr. Ainstree arrived at around 11 o'clock.
But wait, if Mary's dead, then it is I don't think Mary's alive. Or is she? Maybe... Let's go see if anybody's at home.
I found the general leaning over the display case. He had his saber in hand, the one that usually resides above the fireplace.
I understand he was a collector of military figures.
Yes, the display in the study shows the last great British charge that swept the French from Waterloo.
Is there any significance to the fact that the figure of Napoleon is facing backward?
How strange. Perhaps I should go and set it straight.
No, don't touch it. Not until the police have concluded their investigation.
Oh, yes, of course.
I also noticed the portrait over the display case.
Oh,
Late
no.
Mrs. Armstead.
Do I detect a note of hostility?
I must admit we did not get on very well. But I might say that Mrs. Armstead did not get on very well with anyone, including the general.
You mean they didn't marry for love?
Hardly. Lord Fitch, Mrs. Armstead's father, arranged the match. Her dowry was very
He did her
generous.
dirty.
Lord Fitch would have paid any amount to ensure that he would not be left with a spinster daughter, especially such a nasty one.
If there was no love lost between them, why did he keep her portrait in his study?
Actually, it was put up there to needle Mrs. Armstead's brother, the present Lord Fitch. He never approved of the marriage. Even after her death, they were involved with mutual business affairs. They jointly owned stock or some such thing.
Tell me, do you know what the general was doing at the time the intruder arrived?
Yes, he was working on the new section of his book, the part that concerns the gem, the Polar Star. It was very interesting, really. It traces the ownership of the gem to the brother of Napoleon, to the Russian Count Rostov. Unfortunately, the gem was stolen from the Count 3 years ago. As a matter of fact, the general just received a letter from a Pierre Montan who said that he was willing to divulge the name of the present owner of the gem for the agreed-upon fee.
Do you know where Mr. Montan
It's him.
might be
Pierre
found?
had it.
I believe he's staying at the Bridge House Hotel.
Did the general have any
Love it.
encounters with anyone out of the ordinary in the past several days?
Not really. An old friend of his has been in town, Jean-Paul Girard. Neither the general nor I have seen him in 40 years. In fact, they were going to meet this afternoon at the French embassy.
I'm obviously curious about the general's last visitor. Could you describe him, please?
He was an old man, a rather short fellow.
Old,
He walked
short.
with a cane and carried a carpetbag.
Did he give a name?
Cane.
No. He simply wanted to see the general, and he handed me a letter to take into him.
Did you read it?
It's his son.
In an envelope, rather yellowed with age. Though I noticed it was addressed in a graceful
It's
hand
his
to
son.
Captain
It was his
Armstead,
son.
12th Hussars, the general's old regiment. When the general read it, he went very pale.
That's why he was shocked.
Then he asked me to admit the gentleman.
Tell me, when you finally got into the room from the garden, were the study doors still locked?
Yes.
I noticed that there is an 8-foot fence surrounding the garden, and that the only way into the garden or out of it is through the kitchen door or the study.
How terribly observant, Holmes.
So what does that matter? Okay. Hey, Nano. This whole game is crazy. So I'm pretty sure he goes pale because this guy's like, hey, I'm your son. Like, this is the name of my mom that you, like, had a thing with in France. Okay, I love the implication that I did try to go meet the Frenchman, and they were like, oh, he's not home. So I'm like, did you go to France? Because now I get to go talk to him at the Bridge House Hotel. Or maybe not. I can't go to the Bridge House Hotel? Are we not? Am I not seeing it? I thought that's what it was called. Oh, maybe they're listed. Hotels. Here we go. Bridge House Hotel.
How in the world did you hear about it so soon, Mr. Holmes? The body's still warm. Couldn't have happened more than 10 minutes ago.
Body? What body?
Well, the one what's upstairs in 203.
We're here for something else, actually. Looking for Pierre Martin.
Well, that's the very fellow what was done in.
Tell me, young man, do you know what transpired?
Well, Mr. Matten checked into the hotel on the 8th. He was a Frenchman. I didn't speak to him much.
Who discovered the body?
I did. Well, I came along to his room to deliver a wire. Here it is, sir.
So he's dead.
Information still valuable. See me, Wells, Osborne, Norgate and Company, publishers. Tell me, did you see anyone suspicious hanging about?
No. No, sir. Well, actually, now that I think about it, there was a rather large man with a foreign accent. Russian, I think. He said that he wasn't sure about the address and that he'd only just arrived in London. He asked for Mr. Matten, and I sent him straight up. Well, he was rather well-spoken and well-mannered. I didn't think anything of it at the time. A few minutes later, he came down. He was practically running. I saw him go out the front door and hail a cab.
Was there anything amiss in the room?
Oh, I'll say. An inkwell was toppled on its side, left an awful mess on the carpet. Big blue spots and inky footprints right the way to the door. The manager will be in a fret when he sees it. Fortunately, there was no blood.
Perhaps he was strangled.
Wow. This is like, I'm pretty sure, Nano, I was looking into this. I think that this has been created from an old, like, I think it came out in 91, like a DVD type game where you would have like a CD and then you have to play them to like get the clues and stuff. So I've seen that case. And then I've also seen people talk about it in r/board games. So I'm assuming there must have been like a physical bit to it. But then it's been converted into, you can play it on Steam. So that's pretty cool. So that's a bummer. Our first suspect is dead. So maybe if we go to the embassy?
Count Rostov, Watson.
Count Rostov, Holmes?
According to the woman at the embassy, he is the only Russian national who has arrived in London in the past few days.
But how will we find him?
He's staying at de Kaiser's Royal Hotel.
However did you deduce that, Holmes?
Elementary, my dear Watson. I asked.
Okay. The Kaiser's Royal Hotel. So was that the guy? Oh, de Kaiser.
Are you from the police?
Were you expecting the police?
I was. My valet, Vladimir, reported to me that his interview with Pierre Matin was decidedly unproductive, as he was dead when Vladimir arrived.
I see. Tell me, why did he go to see Matin in the first place?
It was in reference to a certain valuable possession of mine that was stolen some years ago by Pierre's brother, Andre. I was in Paris and read in the London Times that General Armstead was to revise his very interesting book to include a chapter concerning that possession. Originally, I came here to visit him.
Then how did you discover Matin's whereabouts?
Shall we say, someone made me aware that Matin was also in London, that he was the general source of information. But when the General Armstead was reported dead, I had no other alternative but to pay a call on Matin. So I sent Vladimir, an old man's legs, you understand, to speak with him.
Love this guy. Okay, so he's trying to track down the diamond. He believes that Pierre has the diamond, but I don't believe at that point he still did. I think it was pinched. But from whom? Gosh, if it's the guy with no leg and no arm and one eye, I'm gonna be in shock. I said Cabot. Maybe it was Cobbett, but
Can I help you, Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Cabot, I'm looking for the murderer of General Farnsworth Armstead. Where were you this morning?
You don't beat around the bush, do you?
Not if I can avoid it.
Well, it so happens I've been at home all morning.
Yes, I can see that.
Well, of course you can.
Either you've been at home all morning, or there's some other good reason why you are still attired in your bedroom slippers.
a sleigh. He said lazy. Lazy, what's it called? Lazy hermit. Well, okay, so his son, I think, is the one that shows up. Unless Mateen is the one. I don't think Mateen's the one that visits him. So, I mean, do I need to go talk to the French embassy and talk to all the French people?
Farney and I spent over a year quartered together in France in War College. We became the best of friends.
Did you know much of the General's personal life at the time?
He always put the rest of us to shame in the matters of love. Said it was because we had no horse face to spur us on.
Did the General have a passion for horses?
Mon Dieu, no. He was engaged to a terribly unattractive woman by the name of Mary Fitch. Gosh. Behind her back, that's what he called her. Horseface.
How dreadful. Whatever became of her?
She eventually became Mrs. Armstead and brought her great fortune to the marriage. I believe that Farney looked upon his stay in France as his last great fling.
Are you saying that there was no particular woman at the time?
I did not say that. There was one, but I never met her. My little flower, he called her. I remember one night he could not sleep. He was slightly drunk, and he kept rambling on about promises that must be kept and promises that couldn't be. Finally, he collapsed on the bed with such sadness in his eyes I will never forget it. Ma Fleurette, he said.
How very touching.
Have you seen much of the General over the years?
We have always maintained our friendship through correspondence, until last week, that is. It was the first time we had seen each other in over 40 years. We had supper, and then went to see the French actor Philippe Arnaud perform. The General commented that my presence beside him while French was being spoken reminded him of the old days.
So your visit went well?
Exceedingly well.
Can you think of anything that
This
might
is
have
an
been
old
troubling
Frenchman.
him?
No, the General was in excellent spirits. He joked about the upcoming Tontine celebration at the Langham, and he was very enthusiastic about the new information concerning the Polar Star. In fact, this week he was supposed to meet with a countryman of mine about it. It is hard to believe that my good friend is gone.
Aw. Did we go to the Langham Hotel?
It seems none of the staff knows anything about Armstead's demise. The manager was rather grateful I told him the news. Says now they can count on one less place setting at the banquet.
Then I suppose it was a good thing we stopped here, Watson.
Okay, so I'm wondering if Fleurette is her actual name. Like broccoli. No. So, have we attempted to meet Lacey Booth? He probably doesn't have an address. Notoriously, no, that's right. He's not. Wait, does it say notoriously unreliable scoundrel? Nice. Okay, this one's harder than the last one. Maybe if I look at the notes that he has taken. See what was supposedly important. Jean-Paul Girard. The French actor Philippe Arnaud. I guess we can go talk to him. Anybody French? Guilty.
I've rung the bell a half-dozen times and no one has come to the door.
Really, Watson? Next time I would appreciate it if you would thoroughly research your leads before you ask me to come along.
Oh, you know what? We haven't talked to the barkeep. Or did we talk? No, we haven't talked to the barkeep.
Bloody shame it was about General Armistead's death.
How touching, Shinwell. You're really grieved to see him pass on.
Well, sure, I had me money on him. I should have trusted me instincts and gone with one of the ladies.
Captain Jurgens doesn't seem to have had much of a following, even at 25 to 1.
Nah, that's just Booth Lacey and his cronies, and that's really a sentimental bet. You see, Jurgens is Lacey's uncle.
So he's betting on his uncle. So that's the motive. If they're literally only setting him up, if it's gonna be him, I'm gonna feel so bad.
Is there any mention of the Tontine Fund in the General's will?
None. It simply states that Farnsworth Armstead's entire estate is to be used to form the Armstead Foundation, an organization to be dedicated to the study of military history.
Okay. So... Okay. Did I already look at this one? Anarchist found dead. I do remember that. New book. I read that. Strange event. Read that. Panic at the Theater. I mean, maybe that had to do with the show he went to. New Scotland Yard. I feel like I'm not... Russian exhibition. Captain Orton will ascend in his famous balloon eagle from the parade ground in front of the grandstand at the Bridge House Hotel. I've already been to the Bridge House. Bloodhounds might assist in tracking the Thames murderer. Oh, gosh, I don't know. Oh, wait a second. All on board were saved in an open boat except for one Russian sailor purportedly involved in a jewelry heist scandal. I mean, that could be helpful. Gosh, I don't know. Disturbance at the Russian social scandal. The Russian anarchist. I could look into that. Vladimir Botkin. He said his manservant was named Vladimir. Vladimir Botkin or Jacob Epstein. Not here. Oh, there he is.
This seemed to be a dead end. No one had...
I've rung the bell a half-dozen times and no one has come to the door.
Really, Watson? Next time I would appreciate it if you would thoroughly research your leads before you ask me to come along.
I mean, should I literally just try? The problem is that the only guy I suspect right now is, is Lacey. Tuna. I feel, bad about that. Not gonna lie. Did we go to Somerset House? Yes. I think I already went everywhere. Do I have... I wonder if it'll tell me... Oh, this is where the money's held.
Could you tell us exactly how much the Tontine prize money amounts to at this time?
The Tontine Fund, with interest accruing for the past 75 years, amounts to just shy of £3 million.
Quite a tidy sum, I'd say.
She's up on the desk. She didn't... She just wanted to be a bother. Not right, Tuna. £3 million. So, it's not the twin ladies. It's not the old homeless man. It's not the... I mean... I thought the French embassy is where we went to talk to the Jean-Paul Girard. Peter's the youngest one. He's... I will say he's bedridden. But maybe that's a ruse. Where's that? I'm looking for those notes. has a daughter married to Wentworth Cobbett. Have we talked to him?
I'm terribly sorry.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so he's young and poor. So it could be young and poor, or it could be young and poor and a criminal that uses their disability to take advantage of people. So two like really good options. And then Napoleon has his back turned. And then also he said something about the house that seemed notable. What was it about the house? He said that, he said something about, like, the back garden. It was like maybe they'd have to jump over it. They said there was an 8-foot fence. So maybe that's relevant. Or maybe, oh, I don't know. I already talked to all the regulars. Should I get maybe I'll get a little hint. Wait, how do I get my hint? Clue hints. Here we go. Let's see. Watson's hint. A visit to the scene of the murder should uncover some evidence. I did that. I went to the scene of the murder. Note the valet's description of the visitor as well as the activity overheard. Yeah, they did swords, and then they shattered the thing, and yeah. The man is described as being an elderly Frenchman, which does align with, I guess maybe 60's not elderly, like maybe it wasn't his son, because it could have been his friend Jean-Michel, that he hadn't seen him for 20 years, so his valet probably wouldn't have known who he was. Wait, no, that does make sense, because he does it, or, yeah, not Jean-Michel. What's that dude's name? Jean-Paul Girard. But why? What would he gain from killing him? Nothing. Nothing at all. There was a mention of a yellow letter. I do recall that. I went to the French embassy. Yes. Oh, so was he trying to blackmail him? And then he just killed him? This is really disappointing if this is actually, and I'm just now piecing it together through hints and not through actually doing it. I mean, but what would he have to gain from killing him? That's the thing. He shouldn't have. I mean, it does line up with what I was saying earlier. It needs to probably be a military man who had a saber, was willing and able to use it. Obviously, the letter had to do with his son. And so when they say elderly Frenchman, at first I was like, well, he could be 60, you know, if he was like 25 when he had this kid. But maybe it was like, I know who your kid is. But I guess I thought it was going to be the diamond thing, but maybe the diamond thing's a red herring. Maybe he was getting blackmailed. How do I find out, though? I'm just gonna... Maybe I gotta go to the Princess Theater. I tried to go see the actor, but maybe if I go to the theater directly. Maybe that's a good... Because I think I need... Okay, yeah, I needed something. I needed something to keep me going.
Oh, but you must see Philippe perform. My nephew's an artist, a wonder. He manages to portray the Emperor Napoleon from age 19 until his last days on the island of Savarney. You would swear 5 different actors playing the part, but no, it is only Philippe aging before your eyes. At 48, he's the toast of the continent.
You seem rather young to be the uncle of a 48-year-old man.
I am but 8 years older than Philippe, though I can assure you I am his uncle. You might say that our family has a history of late arrivals. Philippe's father was 25 years older than myself, and Philippe's poor sister was 15 years older than he.
Why do you say poor?
She died many years ago under tragic circumstances.
Tragic.
In fact, her mother was so upset over her daughter's death that she was put into an asylum. We received word yesterday from the asylum that she had also passed away. It upset Philippe very much, resurrecting old ghosts, as you might say. But we have been playing for enthusiastic audiences for several weeks. As we say in the business, the show must go on. And Philippe is a trooper. He would never allow it to affect his performance.
Can you tell us where Philippe Arnaud is this morning? We should like very much to meet him.
Yeah, we gotta talk to
him. He's not here now. Our company is staying at the Grand Hotel. However, I believe today he is visiting the National Gallery. But if you would come back this evening, I will have tickets awaiting, and after the show, you're welcome to come backstage and meet him.
So I was literally right. I was right. Forget all those things I said about being wrong. Philippe is his son. He said that his mom was only 15 years older than him. So 15 years old when she had him. And she's crazy. And she obviously didn't have a husband. Philippe's got to be his son. And then he said, oh, he ages before your eyes. So he's a young man, but he like did old age makeup. And so that's to go visit his dad. I'm certain of it. I'm certain of it. So we're gonna wrap this case up. So they said not the National Gallery. Oh no, they said he is at the National Gallery.
I can't believe we came all this way when there are more important things to pursue.
No, he said he was at the National Gallery, but he said they were staying at the Grand Hotel.
How fortunate that Inspector Lestrade authorized the hotel manager to allow us to search Philippe Arnaud's room.
Perhaps
we
can
easy.
return the favor and solve a case for him someday. Today, for example. Let's look around.
How strange.
The cane.
Who requires
I called it.
Without it.
Perhaps he doesn't require it for walking.
He doesn't.
Look here at the handle.
Yes, it's a fake one.
Give a fellow a start.
Precisely, Watson. Look here.
What did I
Appears to
tell
be
you
a
guys?
letter.
He was pretending to be
quite
old.
It's addressed to Captain Armstead, 12th Hussars. Shall I read it?
Please do.
Oh wait, did it go quiet?
Dearest, how I hated you for leaving me, but the child, our child, eased my heartache and muted the hate. Now my sweet baby is dead.
I called it.
Cruel that the innocent must suffer for the sins of others. Now I have nothing. Now I am nothing.
Wait, no, maybe I'm wrong.
Goodbye, I love you still, Fleurette. How tragic.
The baby died.
Perhaps this is the very letter that the General read.
Good thinking, Watson.
But that doesn't make sense. Why would the baby die? Hold on. So it's obviously this Philippe Arnaud guy.
How
Just gonna do another little watch, just in case.
Manager to allow us to search
Yeah.
room.
Perhaps
Fast
we can return the favor
forward,
and
fast
solve a case
forward.
for him someday. Today, for example. Let's look around.
How strange that a man who requires a cane would leave without it.
Perhaps he doesn't require it for walking.
Look here at the handle. Well, that could certainly give a fellow a start.
Precisely, Watson. Look here. It appears to be a letter.
Looks quite old. It's addressed to Captain Armstead, 12th Hussars. Shall I read it?
Please do.
Dearest, how I hated you for leaving me, but the child, our child, eased my heartache and muted the hate. Now my sweet baby is dead. How cruel that the innocent must suffer for the sins of others. Now I have nothing. Now I am nothing. I cannot bear the pain. Goodbye, I love you still, Fleurette. How tragic.
So, theory, because we know that Andre Mateen and, well, both the Mateens are dead now, Pierre and Andre. But that wouldn't make sense why she would have two sons. I don't know. I feel like I feel like the baby's not dead. Maybe it's just a fan theory, but whatever. Whatever. Is she in the hospital? Did she die in the hospital? Was she in the sanatorium? Because she was crazy. Totally crazy. Consumption hospital. Wasn't much going on. Okay. I think that's our answer, though. And maybe we'll just get all the details later on. The Blind Society. The Imperial Theater. I think this might... King's College Hospital? Should we just do it? Should we just make an attempt? You don't want me to go to the consumption hospital? I'm really racking it up. Let's just make some guesses.
Hear ye, hear ye. The Queen's Court now stands in order.
It says I found all the key clues. Thanks, Steam. Okay, let's give it a go. So we're just going to say...
The pleasure of your company, Mr. Holmes. I understand you've been investigating the murder of General Farnsworth Armstead.
That's correct, my lord, and I believe I have solved the case.
Do you now? Well then, tell me, who...
I'm not as confident as Travis. Let's go with Philip Arnaud. And what was his motive?
Brilliantly logical deduction, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, my lord.
Now
because of his marriage of...
the general killed?
Avenge the honor of Arnaud's sister. Was his sister Florette? How would I be supposed to know that? Because I don't think the gem... Because both Mateens are dead. But this doesn't make any sense. Hold on. Guys, you gotta help me. So... There's no... He's not in the line for any of the Tontine prize money. To avenge the honor of Arnaud's sister. I don't know who his sister is, but maybe we could presume... Maybe I misread or I misheard what they said about the 15-year-old. Maybe that was his sister? That to me sounds the most significant. But then to prevent the publication of the revised edition of the Treasures of the Conquerors... It's not the marriage of convenience thing. Because the diamond is in the hands of somebody. We don't know where the diamond went. The diamond went for the Frenchman to a Mateen. And then the other Mateen claimed to know where it was, and then he was killed. How was he killed? But then the Napoleon statue was turned. I don't know. Oh my gosh. I guess nothing happens if I guess wrong.
Now,
why was the figure of Napoleon
what was
turned
the general
around?
trying to say when he turned round the figure of Napoleon?
War like murder is an exercise in futility? Just because he was Napoleon. That's just simple?
Rather clever of the old boy, what?
Indubitably.
Well, you've done an admirable job in resolving this mystery. I'd say you're on a par with just about any other armchair detective out there. I would suggest...
So did I get all of them right?
Think this case again, thereby improving your sleuthing skills.
Wait, does that mean the first time and the second time I didn't get them all right? Okay, I really want to hear the answer for this one.
You say you've come up with a solution, and yet you sit there calmly cleaning your meerschaum. Please, Holmes, tell me what you've uncovered.
Of course, Watson. It's quite simple, really. The most intriguing fact about this murder was the method. Mr. Sennett's report that he heard the distinct sound of swordplay struck me as most odd. It suggested an affair of honor. At General Armstead's home, my suspicions were confirmed.
A duel.
The old letter addressed to Captain Armstead, a rank he'd held some 40 years ago, suggested that it must have concerned something from the past. Something that was clearly upsetting to him. That was the reason for the duel.
But how can you be so sure there was a duel?
Simple reasoning, my dear Watson. The general had time to place his chair against the wall, climb upon it, and retrieve a saber. The murderer allowed him to arm himself. A duel is the only event that fits with the facts.
Are you sure the caller carried a sword? I thought all he had with him was a carpet bag and a cane.
Perhaps it only appeared to be a cane.
Sword duel. Duel.
The intruder was described as an old man, yet he left the premises over an 8-foot wall. Clearly, he was in disguise and carried off the ruse with enough expertise to completely fool the general's manservant. The carpet bag must have been used as the receptacle of the disguise when it was no longer needed.
Positively clever of you, Holmes. But what made you think it was Arnaud?
Well, since we were looking for someone adept at the art of disguise, Gerard's mention of the actor Philippe Arnaud struck a chord. Also, Arnaud plays Napoleon. No small coincidence.
What are you getting at, Holmes?
When the general turned round at the figure of Napoleon, he was trying to tell us that his murderer was Napoleon. Or rather, the actor playing Napoleon, Philippe Arnaud.
So Arnaud killed the general to avenge his long-dead sister's honor. Ah, well, unlike most of our cases, this motive was closer to the heart than to the pocketbook.
Quite so, Watson. When Arnaud's sister Fleurette was an impressionable young girl, she fell madly in love with the dashing English captain. When he left, she took her own life.
So pathetic.
Wait, there's more.
Oh, dang.
Fleurette's grief-stricken mother went mad and was sent into an asylum.
Oh,
Thus,
I
in the
mixed him
twinkling of
up.
an eye, little Philippe Arnaud, who was but a child himself, lost both his mother and his sister.
I mixed up the relationship
I'm
as they
sure
were
he was too
describing
young
it.
to understand the circumstances that caused it.
Yes, but 4 decades later it all became clear when he found a letter written by his sister. It yielded an explanation and a name. Armstead. He came to London armed with that letter and a sword cane.
Dang,
But he
good
was
for
here
him.
for several weeks before he did the deed.
Yes, and he might not have done it at all had it not been for the news of his mother's death. That was the final blow. He went straight away to the general's home to take his revenge. Voila.
Positively brilliant, Holmes. How
What about the diamond?
This pipe cleaner, of course.
Okay, so the diamond was a red herring, like I said. So I had it mixed up when he said the mom died and she was only 15. It was because his mom and the relation, that was his sister. So I had that wrong. Dude, I knew it was a duel. Otherwise, what are you using swords for? Wow. Okay. I mean, obviously I did have to spam the hints to get to the theater clue. Because I tried to go, I knew I wanted to see Philippe Arnaud, but I tried to go to his house, not the theater. Bummer. But otherwise, I'm still pretty proud. And I'm super thankful it wasn't either any of the people that were just like in dire straits in their lives. That would have really sucked. And also I feel like I never got to actually talk to Lacey, so I don't know if it was a lie that he was like defrauding people. I don't know if it was a lie. He might have both legs. I don't know the facts. I didn't go in person. There's another game in this series, but we are not going to be able to play it tonight. But wow, you know what? The first one was killer. I loved it. You guys, you like how the British say a jewel. A jewel. It's a jewel and a duel. Oh, so it's like is a good red herring. I liked that. They threw in the Russian subplot and it didn't matter. It didn't matter. But I am a little ticked that it wasn't actually his son in person, because I was like, oh, of course, the only thing that would make him like totally freak out like that would be his son. But I guess it was news of his son and his ex-lover. Anyway, I'm so thankful we got to play this today together because it's been sitting in my Steam library and I was like, what a waste of money. I'm never going to play that again. But you know what? I prevailed. I didn't have to use a walkthrough and I appreciated everyone's commitment to the story. My favorite characters was the like man and wife that like she cried in front of him because he was like, stop being so much, and he had the like best wig ever. And also Travis. Obviously Travis was exceptional. So I will be going to the drawing board. I will be looking into all of these games that you guys suggested, mostly Hannah, thank you, because this Thursday has to be our 4th of July stream, and because we have so many British friends, we have to celebrate 250 years of the Declaration of Independence because I'm a history major and why not? So I will try to find the most aggressively British, no, ooh, Freudian slip, the most aggressively American game I can, like revolutionary game, you know, for us to play on Thursday. I'm really hoping there's like a hidden object game that's like treasures of the revolution and you get to like go around Valley Forge and find hidden objects. So anyway, we're all friends. It's all cute and fun, but I don't know. Is this like weird? I've never told you guys this. 4th of July is my favorite holiday. Okay, so we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be amazing. I might be a little silly. So have a good night. Take care of yourselves. If you're going to work tomorrow or today or whatever time zone you're in, have a great time. I will see you soon. Bye.